As we welcome listeners to BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra 3, this is BBC Radio Humberside Sport Live. It's FA Cup weekend. We've seen a big cup shocker, giant killing already in the competition. We hope there isn't going to be one for Grimsby Town this evening. They are taking on non-league Weston Mare at Blundell Park. Commentary here on BBC Radio Humberside and on BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra 3 with your commentary team. Former Mariner Gary Croft is your expert summariser alongside your match commentator Matt Dean.
Thanks very much, Mike. Welcome to Cleethorpes on a cold, misty evening here on the East Coast. The players are out on the pitch. The Weston Mare supporters were in the ground early, and they are packed in at the Osman stand end of the ground. They were chanting away, Gary Croft, about sort of 45 minutes before kick-off. They're enjoying the day, aren't they? They're making sure that they do that. Yeah,
I had to kind of look around when I first came in. I could hear the singing, and I thought, well, it's brilliant stuff, isn't it? You know, to come in and have a great day out for them. They've done incredibly well, haven't they, to get this far into the competition, and it's a heck of a turnout, because it's some journey, isn't it, as well, from Weston Mare. So credit to them, and hopefully they won't enjoy it too much.
Indeed. Macclesfield's victory in the Cup earlier on today, knocking out the holders Crystal Palace, is the big story on FA Cup third round weekend. What do you think those Weston Mare players will be thinking after seeing that earlier on today, Gary Croft?
Well, I think it'll give them encouragement, won't it? You know, you see a team like Macclesfield who they'll be very familiar with, and they've gone and beaten the team sort of well by the looks of things with a late goal from Palace, 2-0 up. They've obviously been organised today and very professional, Macclesfield, and that's what they'll be like for this team. But to be at the top of any league, and they're second in their league, you know, you've got to be organised, you've got to be solid at the back and well structured with good leadership, and you know, they'll come here and it's our job to unlock that, isn't it? And we've got to sort of show that energy. We've taken quite a bit of pace and energy out of the team, actually, with the way he's changed it, but hopefully it won't be a consequence for us.
6 changes in total being made by David Artell. We'll give you the lineups very soon, but ahead of kick-off here at Blundell Park, we're going to be remembering those lost during 2025 in this Grimsby's first home game of the new year. So we'll take in a minute's applause in light of that here on BBC Radio Humberside. There we are, the players disband from the brink of the centre circle. The Weston Mare players in their royal blue shirts with canary yellow double vertical stripes have a little huddle just off the centre circle. Grimsby Town in their familiar black and white striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. The Mariners aiming for the fourth round for only the second time in 26 years this evening, the second time in 3 seasons. Weston, the joint lowest ranked side left in the Cup, are seeking a first ever league scalp for a maiden appearance in the 4th round. It'll be Town to kick us off, making 6 changes in total from the side that beat Fleetwood by a 0-0 10 days ago. Kev Rogers, the PA announcer, is trying to whip up the crowd. He doesn't really need to try for the Weston supporters, but the Grimsby ones might need a little nudge ahead of this one as we get underway. Immediately it's played back to the Mariners goalkeeper Jackson Smith, and he hammers it away downfield into the Weston Supermare half. Comes back into the centre circle, flicked on by Cameron McJanet. Corey has a clash there with one of the Weston players, Dom Bernard, who's down on the ground, rolling around, and the referee, who is Martin Coy from Grantham, has come across to check that Bernard is going to be all right. Gary Croft.
A sensible decision from the referee, really. It was a low head, wasn't it? Bounced up, but not very high. He was probably down at least at waist level with his head when he headed it. Corey had to go for the ball because it was so low, and he caught him in the face. He's just given a free kick, waved away all the players to say it wasn't a book-in, and which it wasn't.
Let's give you the side, starting with Town. The 6 changes being made by David Artell. I'll just break there because the Mariners are just defending the edge of their penalty area. One of those players coming into the side today is Staunton. He's cleared away. Sweeney drops out of the matchday squad completely at left back. So that's where the change is made. His partner is expecting any time. She's 3 days overdue. The other players to come in to the starting 11 this evening: Lavelle, Warren, McEachran, Walker and Burns. An early attack forward here for Weston outside the Grimsby penalty area on the left hand side, and Charlie Cummings has won his side a corner kick, the first of the evening. It's bobbled off Darragh Burns. Yeah,
well defended by Burns, obviously doing his job, but could start by Weston Supermare. Very positive, putting long balls up front. They've got good power in the air, so they've won a few of them headers.
The Mariners defending the goal away to our right hand side, going right to left in this first half. In front of the pontoon stand here, it's a corner ball for Weston, and it's worked out to the edge of the penalty area. Here's Luke Spokes, the former Mariners, will play with a shot. He gets it away, but it's Town who will spring clear up towards the halfway line, given away there by Darragh Burns, and the ball is going to come back at the Mariners. Side-footed clear from centre half by Lavelle, and Smith will play back through to the edge of his own penalty area. The Western goalkeeper is Max Harris, and he lays it away to Smith on the right hand side, and they will smooth it across defence. Bringing it clear is Lewis, their captain, up to the rim of the centre circle, looks to his left and passes to the gloved Luke Spokes. The Mariners nip in there with Walker. He's dispossessed by Coulson, and Cummings down the left hand side to Coulson. Coulson rides one challenge, ball breaks loose, edge of the penalty area. Stepping in is Warren, and it's clouted away by Jackson Smith in the Grimsby penalty area. Powerful header forward by Lavelle. Comes to the centre circle. Vernon sort of ducked out of the challenge there a little bit, didn't he? And Weston have got the ball back. Not a good sign, that.
No, it was Vernon just trying to sort of read the play, wasn't he? But it looked like he pulled out of the challenge, which the fans didn't really take to, because it's been quite a good start by Weston. Town fans wanted to see a little bit of positivity. Certainly a few challenges maybe going in.
Grimsby with Jackson Smith in goal. Back four of Tyrell Warren, Sam Lavelle, Cameron McJanet and Rhys Staunton. George McEachran, the holding midfielder. Darragh Burns, Evan Corey, Jamie Walker and Charles Vernon right to left across midfield. And Jude Soon-Sup-Bell, 22 today, coming in, or rather keeping his place and starting this evening after the victory at Fleetwood last time out. Here is Charles Vernon on the left hand side, playing it back to McEachran, under pressure here from Cummings, back to halfway to McJanet. McJanet on the ball advance forward slowly, on towards Corey. In steps Smith, the defender, who gets it back from Cummings on the right hand side on halfway. Coming forward for the visitors, crossfield pass headed up into the air by Warren, comes into the possession of Corey, under pressure here from Cummings, who's snapping at his heels, but Corey stands strong in the challenge, and the Mariners on the left hand side of the defence with Staunton rather hemmed in here, so passes back through to Jackson Smith. On the Grimsby bench this evening, Seb Alton, Harvey Rogers, Doug Tharm, Kieran Green, Gayser David Torrey, Jace Cabier, Tyrell Sellers-Fleming, who joined from Hull City. Grimsby attacking here. Here's a long range effort from the edge of the penalty area by Walker, and he's pulled it wide of the near post. Goal kick.
Yeah, didn't really stride that well, did he? But it was a good little layup. I'm not sure who it was who got clattered there. I think it was Warren who sort of played that up, but got caught in the back of his calf by the looks of things. And the ref allowed things to go on, obviously, because Town still had the ball, but it's a poor strike at goal.
Clark Adore and Justin Amalasaw, the other Grimsby substitutes. The visitors, Weston-super-Mare, are making 2 changes. Ellison and Kite drop out of their 11. Bernard and Avery come in. They have Max Harris in goal. Back 4 of Michael Smith, Emlyn Lewis, Sam Avery and Jason Pope. Charlie Cummings, Dom Bernard and Luke Spokes in a 3-man midfield, and Will Dawes, Lewis Britton, their top scorer with 18 this season, and Luke Coulson up front. Here's a ball helped on in the air, breaks centrally for Charles Vernham inside the Town half. He motors up towards the halfway line, but is fouled by Dawes, who left one on Vernham there, and then Dawes goes down as he sort of stumbled back. I think he tripped over the referee's leg there, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, tried to make something of it and was pulling him in for a little chat. I think Staunton maybe nudged him as well.
With BBC Radio Humberside and BBC Sports Extra 3 this evening on BBC Sounds. Good to have your company. Thankfully, no pitch inspection needed for this one here this evening in Cleethorpes. There was a flurry of snow stroke sleet this morning, but there's been gorgeous sunshine in this part of the world, as there has been across most of the country today. McJanet spears a high ball out towards the right-hand side to Dara Burns, the Grimsby winger, being forced away from goal. Ball's played in field to Staunton, on now towards Warren, and it's picked up by Burns. A little burst of pace from him, nudges it away to his right-hand side to Walker, level with the Western box, in now towards the feet of a Grimsby player. Low shot sent in by Tyrell Warren. I had to check who that was there. Warren high up the pitch, and he managed to get his shot away. It's been forced wide, and it's a Grimsby corner on the right hand side. 7 minutes in, no score in this FA Cup 3rd round tie.
Yeah, it's a really nice little turn by Warren actually with the outside of his boot, and unfortunately he turns onto his left foot, his weak one, really scobbled an effort, and the keeper made a real meal of saving it. But here's the corner
for Grimsby, flicks off the head of a Weston player into the gloves of Harris, the goalkeeper, inside his 6-yard box. He drop kicks downfield high into the Grimsby half. Walker on the stretch breaks it right back for Charles Vernham, who speeds up towards the halfway line, and was he chopped down there by Cummings? Vernham went sprawling. Now has the referee given the free kick?
Yeah, I think he'll give a booking as well.
He has.
Got him late, didn't he? Vernham doing well there. Just saw a big opening in front of him, did well to recover, him and Walker stopping the attack, and then came out of it really strongly. A sliding tackle just totally mistimed. It had to be a yellow card.
So the first caution of the afternoon goes the way of Weston's Charlie Cummings. Short free kick for the Mariners in midfield, and it's steered away to the right by McEachran to Warren, who scored famously against Manchester United, his old club, in the League Cup earlier on this season. What a night that was here at Blundell Park. Here deep inside the Weston-super-Mare half, Walker has won his team a Grimsby corner on the right hand side, and we're approaching the 10th minute at Blundell Park on a very cold night here on the east coast. The Weston-super-Mare supporters, many of whom left Somerset at 9 o'clock this morning, they're housed at the Osman stand end of the ground where this corner kick is drilled in from. It'll go all the way across the Western box, picked up by George McEachran, and he is closed down by 2, so lays it back up the line to Corey. Grimsby on the left with McEachran once more, plays it backwards of square to Walker, stroked wide to the right to Staunton. Vernham's crying for it on the right hand side and gets that ball. Here he is, little step over from him, deep position, low ball into the penalty area, deflected away, drops onto the foot of Bernard. He skies it up towards the centre circle, onto the head of McEachran, cushioned forward, and ball falls back to McEachran eventually, and in the challenge he was caught there by Britton. I think he looks in a little bit of discomfort, George McEachran, but he's going to be all right. Gets back up to his feet, ball back with the Western goalkeeper. 0-0.
Yeah, I would have liked seeing Vernham go to byline there rather than coming back on his left foot. they all tend to come back on the right foot quite often, don't they? There's a chance for him to go and attack him, see what pace he had down on that left-hand side there, but chose not to.
Ball's lofted forward from the halfway line. Cushioned header back by the Grimsby centre-half Lavelle to Jackson Smith. Grimsby have won the last couple of matches with late victories against Shrewsbury and Fleetwood in the league before the enforced break last week, when the game at Cambridge, of course, was postponed at midday. Weston urged to bring the ball forward here by their travelling support. Coulson down the left side to Cummings. He gets a ball in towards the near post, helped away in the air by McJanet. It'll pop out to Spokes, played back up the touchline, laid into midfield, and here is Coulson driving a ball out towards the right side of the Mariners box, headed up into the air by Staunton, and he has put it out for a throw in to Weston, who've won their last couple of matches, arriving at Blundell Park this evening. 3 from the last 4. The last defeat home or away was on Boxing Day at Torquay, losing 3-1. They warmed up for this one tonight with a 4-1 victory at home to Farnborough last weekend, one of their biggest wins of the season. They'll be confident of getting a victory here this evening, not only having seen Macclesfield with that cup upset, but they'll have looked at what happened here last season when Wealdstone won in the first round. David Artell claims that was a foul throw and is letting the fourth official know about it down below. Ball's tapped short anyway as we get back underway, and Cameron McJanet advances out of defence, stops and then plays it back through to Jackson Smith, who's on loan from Barnsley right through to the end of the season now. Grimsby extending that loan this week. He did actually play for Rochdale in the first round, but under the new rules he can play for a couple of clubs this season. It's a throw-in for Staunton, and he looks back inside the Grimsby half and drops it onto the chest of McJanet, and it's rolled across to Lavelle. Tapped on to McEachran. McEachran under pressure, wide to the left to Staunton. Curling ball forward. Underneath this ball, it should be dealt with by Lewis. He heads away under pressure, comes to Dawes, infield to Cummings, who stumbles on the ball. Staunton goes with him, still with Cummings though, as he comes into the centre circle. Not a lot on for him at the moment, as Coulson peels out to the left, but it'll go right to Bernard, wide to Smith, in the red boots tonight. Down the touchline it goes to Dawes, and the blonde-haired attacker taking on the left back for Grimsby, Staunton. He stumbles on the ball, does Dawes, but he's still on it at the moment, almost on the corner quadrant. Then plays a ball low into the Mariners penalty area. It's a weak one, and it's swept away by McJanet up towards the halfway line. Breaks to Soonsup Bell, who is roared over the halfway line. Plays it on now towards Burns. Can he get there ahead of the defender? He can't. A last-ditch challenge there coming in from Jason Pope, the left back, and he has turned it behind for a Grimsby corner. But that was a swift attack, a counter-attack from the Mariners here. And now you can hear the Grimsby fans getting excited. They sense their team might be able to get in front here from this corner.
Yeah, they got there Soonsup Bell, didn't he? Really nice layoff, and then took it again in the 1-2. Was strong enough to hold his man off, and then played almost a perfect pass there, didn't he? Burns made a great run there, but an important sliding by the left back. Good tackle.
Corner for the Mariners will be taken on the right-hand side by one of the town defenders, Rhys Staunton, who's got a decent delivery on him. Takes a few paces back, a cloud of breath in front of his face. It's that kind of night. Decides to tap it short to Vernon for the corner. Ball sent in towards the near post, and competing for that challenge was Cameron McJanet, but he couldn't guide it goalwards. Gone behind for a goal kick to Weston Super Mare, who've lost the last 3 away games in all competitions. The Seagulls, their nickname, haven't won away in the National League South in a couple of months, 3 matches. Overall this season on their travels, 5 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats away from the Wood Springs Stadium. That's in the National League South. That stadium, by the way, is averaging 988 this season, so that gives you some kind of idea as to what they're used to playing in front of. Capacity of about 3,500. Balls rolled to the centre half Lewis, and to to the right to the former Northern Ireland international Michael Smith. Staunton reaches it, but it'll come down to Weston, and it's laid away to the left side of the Grimsby penalty area. Warren on the stretch prevents it from going out to Coulson, but it's a throw in to the National League South side, and it's tossed back. And here in midfield, it's with Spokes. Lewis wide to Dawes, wide on the right, he's got support, and it'll go down the line to Cummings, the Irishman, inside the Grimsby penalty area. Turns back and then gets it onto the right side again, and this one towards the far side of the goal, and Smith, the town goalkeeper, didn't know where that was going. Then the shot sent in towards the near post by Coulson, and it's blocked out, and Smith was switched on there to the danger, but he wasn't initially when the cross went in. He didn't have a clue where that ball was going to go.
Really nice play that down on the side. Cummings looks like a real player, doesn't he? Actually, he's getting about, isn't he? He's comfortable on the ball. He's looking over his shoulder and making some really, really good forward runs. And that little dink to the back stick there just needed a simple header on it, and no one quite read him, did they? And they all sort of hung out. And in the end, it came to the lad on the far side who tried to give the keeper the eyes, didn't he, by reversing his shot back? But Jackson Smith was aware of it.
16 minutes have gone, and it's 0-0 here. But it's a throw-in for Weston. What have you made of them so far?
I think they look quite good. They're a decent size. They're quite comfortable in midfield.
Ball from Spokes into the Mariners penalty area from deep, almost through to Dawes, who stretched out a leg, couldn't latch onto that cross though, and it's gone for a Grimsby goal kick. If we're in any doubt at all about how the visitors were going to perform, well, they've given us a strong early indication in this game. As Gary Croft mentioned, they're playing with intent, as you'd expect for a team that are second in the National League South table, having one of their best ever seasons. 38 places dividing these teams coming into this game. The ball is with the town centre half, McJanet, steaming forward, angles the ball along the ground to Staunton. Staunton 25 yards up the touchline, plays it off to Vernon, who wriggles infield, urged to shoot, right-footed, he goes for goal. He's nowhere near it as the ball sails into the Weston fans away to our left-hand side. 0-0. You can't blame him for having a go, but he needed to execute that perfectly, didn't he, if he was going to find the top corner. He's capable of doing it, but just got his measurements all wrong there, Charles Vernon.
Yeah, just kind of like made it a little bit obvious where he was going as well. Took his time to sort of shape his body and everything, and then just under it too far really. I'd rather see him put his laces through that there, just knock it in front of him and try and hit the keeper, and it can go anywhere. It's a little bit skiddy out there.
Max Harris, the Western goalkeeper, punts it forward. Here it is in midfield. It's played back inside the Western Supermare half. Wide on the left now with the orange-booted Jason Pope. Smacks it straight against George McEachran. And it's fallen away for a throw-in to the Somerset club, who gave West Country neighbours Bristol Rovers a huge scare in the first round last season. The Pirates then of League One needed extra time to win through 3-1 in the end at the Memorial Stadium. Weston with the ball out towards Dawes on the right. Foot in there from Staunton. Dawes still keeps possession, holding off the challenge here of Staunton, who does well to nick the ball away from his man. Then fires it against Bernard, and it's a Grimsby throw in front of the Western manager Scott Rogers, who knows a thing or two about cup joy, having scored the winning goal at the old Wembley Stadium in the FA Vars to win it for them when he was playing for Tiverton Town, I should say. And here on the ball now is Cameron McJanet. McJanet bounces one out towards the left to Staunton. Staunton coming infield, long way from the Western goal. To his right he's got Warren. Grimsby have got all men bar two inside the Western half. On halfway it's with McJanet. They're moving the ball from left to right and right to left to try and seek an opening. It's out with Dara Burns on the right wing. Ball along the ground towards Tyrell Warren, who threw his body to the ground. He was looking for the free kick. He was never going to win that, was he? And it's back through to the Western goalkeeper.
No, he's sort of rolled inside, giving us more options. We can't seem to find any players in between the lines at the moment. We're just rotating it across the back. Warren's going in there to try and get free, but that ball was absolutely powered into him. He had no chance of controlling that.
Harris clouts it away downfield for Weston. Comes to Tyrell Warren at right back for Grimsby. He strikes it against Coulson, the closest man to him. Ball breaks back down towards the corner flag, deep inside the Grimsby half. They will hook it upfield. Collected here by Luke Spokes. Do you remember him when he was here?
Yeah, I can remember him being here, but I think because I can't remember much about him.
It was a difficult season for the Mariners. They dropped out of the league around that time. Brought in by Ian Holloway. Fell out of favour with Paul Hurst pretty quickly. Here is Jackson Smith, and he will roll it away to Cameron McJanet, and the 27-year-old ex-Derry centre-back brings it clear. Rifles it down the left. Vernon jumps. Ball floats away for a throw-in to Weston-super-Mare in the right-back area. Yes, I was talking about Luke Spokes. There's 17 appearances for the Mariners, just a single goal, which was up at Barrow during the 2020-21 season, and he left in 22. McEachran nods the ball forward from the Weston throw-in. Here's Soonsup Bell down the left-hand touchline to Vernon, who can go at the full-back, driving towards the dead ball line. Can he get the cross into the middle? He's seen off there by the defender Emlyn Lewis, and Vernon can't make the most of that opportunity. It's a goal kick for Weston-super-Mare. We're nearly midway through the first half here, Gary Croft. It's Grimsby Town 0, Weston-super-Mare 0. What are you thinking?
Well, it kept us very quiet, haven't they, there? I think they're looking after all our threats very well there. Vernon was very well marshalled there, wasn't he, by Lewis. Just guided him out there. Didn't really drag it far enough on his left. Tried to go to the byline, but it was well marshalled, and they've been quite tidy, haven't they? And they're not bad on the ball. They're breaking through our lines as well. It's been fairly even, I think, even with possession and everything, and most of the Town's possession's been behind the Weston-super-Mare sort of midfield, hasn't it, really? So, you know, it's a very even game. Town not quite being the force we'd hoped they'd be.
Not only have we got listeners to BBC Radio Humberside this tea time, but listeners from all across the country. There'll be Weston-super-Mare fans listening to us on BBC Sounds, and neutrals on BBC Sports Extra 3. Gary Croft, your expert summariser here, former Grimsby Town defender, former England under-21 international. For those that don't know, you made your under-21 debut with David Beckham, no less, didn't you?
I did indeed, yes.
Yes, I know you never get tired of being reminded of that.
Yeah, we careers have followed very similar paths as well since then.
Here on the ball is Jude Soonsup Bell, trying to wriggle clear of two. He's lost it in the centre circle, picked up by Dawes. Dawes on now to Cummings. Cummings tries to turn away from Soonsup Bell, and then the challenges fly in, and Walker's taken out by Dawes. The referee just tells him to calm down. That's a Grimsby free kick. 0-0.
Frustration there. I think they thought there might have been a foul on Cummings, but I don't think it was. It was just about fair, not far off, but then the heavy challenge came in after his recompense for that, I think.
Ball's with the Mariners on the right-hand side, and this is Warren on now towards Walker outside the Western box. Tries to hook the ball into the middle. It strikes the defender Lewis, and the ball spins out for a Grimsby corner on the right-hand side. And black and white striped shirts will pile forward for the Mariners into the Seagulls box. And Sam Lavelle sticks both arms up into the air. Coming back into the side tonight, the 6'2" ex-Carlisle centre-half. He's missed the last 3 games. Just been out of favour rather than carrying an injury. Tight knot of players just beyond the penalty spot. Ball goes into the middle. The referee gives the free kick to Weston for some pushing in the box.
Yeah, I didn't really see what that was, to be fair. Janet said something to him as he came past. It was a very clear, well-won header by Weston-super-Mare. There was no threat to it. It was probably the best ball that's gone into the best area out of all the crosses so far from that side, but no Town players around it anyway. It's been a bit of a mixed bag, hasn't it, from Staunton over there. A couple of short ones and then a short one to Vernon, who also knocked it short. The cross, not really enough quality there for me.
Town are facing non-league opposition for the 3rd time in the Cup this season. A 5th time in the last 6 ties. They beat National League South side Ebbsfleet 3-1 in the first round, and Wealdstone here 4-0 comfortably in the last round. This is Luke Spokes picking the ball up on the left wing for Weston. pirouettes before trying to get the ball at the byline. It's gone out off Tyrell Warren. He can't believe the decision, but the referee's given the corner to Weston.
Yeah, they're quite decent, and they're throwing bodies forward, aren't they? Not making it easy for Town at all. Town really having to work hard. A few corners now, haven't they?
And it'll be on the left-hand side, this corner kick. Pontoon stand end of Blundell Park, in front of that snack van that's just in the corner there, doing brisk business still, even though the game's on. Corner ball in towards the Mariners penalty area, pops out to the edge of the box to Burns. He's fouled there by Spokes. That's a Grimsby free kick. Weston, by the way, are facing league opposition for the first time this season in this competition. This evening they beat Aldershot and Chelmsford in the first and second rounds proper. Trained at Sheffield United yesterday, on the way up to stay at Forest Pines at Brigg in North Lincolnshire. On the centre circle, this is Cameron McJanet, advances forward, takes Lewis Britton with him. He's their top scorer, Weston's top scorer, with 18 so far this season. Scored goals in the 2-0 victory against Chelmsford last month. Ball's out to the left-hand side, intercepted by Bernard. Forward from McJanet for Grimsby, and now this is Staunton. Runs straight at the blue shirts, and there's no way through. The Western midfielders back there, and it's hammered away downfield by Lewis, the centre half. At the other end of the pitch, here's McJanet. Deflected ball back to Smith. He clears away on the left foot. Vernon keeps a watchful eye on it. Tidied up there by the right back, Michael Smith, and then the foul has been committed by Evan Corey. Free kick to Weston-super-Mare in front of their bench, and their manager Scott Rogers, who was appointed Weston boss back in October, stepping up from assistant when Scott Bartlett left for Eastleigh. Previous managerial experience at Tiverton Town. As a player, Scott Rogers, their manager, played for the likes of Forest Green, Bath, Newport and Tiverton, as well as the club he's now managing. Max Harris has got this free kick, the Western goalkeeper, well outside his penalty area. Bullets one downfield. It comes to Bernard, who plays away to his left. Cross for Weston into the Grimsby box, headed down there by Staunton. Breaks to McJanet. He's charged down by the onrushing Lewis, and the ball falls back for a Grimsby Town goal kick. 0-0 here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport, BBC Sports Extra 3, BBC Sounds. Take us out and about if you want to listen to us on your mobile device this early evening. It's a crisp one in Cleethorpes as the ball's played away to Staunton on the left side. Down the touchline he's got Corey. Not a great pass, and Smith clears away. Flag is up for an offside on Grimsby. 0-0.
A little bit predictable, that, isn't it? You know, it's,
it is.
One-paced, and they're reading what we're doing. You know, there's no real craft at the moment. It's all very basic, moving the ball around, and you know, there needs to be a bit more invention and move the ball a bit quicker, crisping up them passes, try and get in between the lines, because at the moment they're just shuffling across and we're a bit slow moving the ball.
One or two supporters were saying to me before the game, Gary Croft, that they were a bit nervous about this one. They had a funny feeling about it. Well, what were you thinking before the match?
Well, to be fair, I felt quite confident we'd see it through. None of these teams are going to come here and lie down. There's a chance here, maybe.
Cummings away to the left-hand side. This is Coulson with a shot, and just behind it is the Grimsby goalkeeper getting his body in the way. Makes a clean catch to Jackson Smith. Coulson, he got hold of that ball, didn't he?
Really nice strike, yeah. Again, it was Cummings getting forward there, causing problems. A couple of Town players went for the same ball. Dropped to Cummings, who saw the man, played it across him. Little weighted touch, perfect for him to come onto, and he struck it ever so well, but he struck it straight at the keeper, luckily.
That's two efforts that Coulson has had. He scored a hat-trick, by the way, in their last game, that 4-1 victory over Farnborough, so he'll be confident. Will Luke Coulson, very much in the autumn of his career, the former Dartford winger, who signed in 24, spells at Eastleigh and Bromley. Grimsby have got the ball in the Western half in a deep position. It's picked up by the winger Dara Burns. Western have got good defensive shape at the moment. Burns now in a stationary position. Thought about knocking it into the box before laying it short to McEachran. It goes back to Lavelle. Lavelle, Ramsden's family stand side of the ground into the centre circle to McJanet, who chucks forward with the ball, sends one skipping out to the left to Staunton, quickly closed down by Dawes, so Staunton has to make his way back, passing into McJanet, sideways ball into the centre circle to Lavelle, who has Warren to his right. Tyrell Warren on the ball. Burns also offers him a short option on the right wing. That's where the ball goes to the Irishman. Infield now to Walker, goes back towards the halfway line to Lavelle, roll to his left to Staunton. Corey's in space on the left hand side, and that's where the pass goes, but Grimsby are being hounded all over the pitch at the moment, and they look sort of devoid on ideas, don't they?
Yeah, it's very stationary, not on forward runs, and they're being patient. Looking across, fans become frustrated.
Burns now picking up a bit of pace on the right hand side, gets it onto his left foot. In comes the cross to the middle, headed away by Lewis, back forward from the head of Staunton towards Soonsup Bell. Move breaks down, and Weston will break up towards the halfway line, lofted on by Cummings, onto the foot of McJanet, skied down the touchline. Smith with a header for Weston, but it comes to McEachran and down the touchline to Vernon. Blocked at close quarters by Dawes, and it's broken back off Vernon, and it's gone for a throw into Weston-super-Mare just past the half-hour point in the game, and it is Grimsby Town 0, Weston-super-Mare 0.
The manager was talking about scoring late on in games, like wearing teams down, and it seems like that's what we're trying to do. But I prefer to see us try and test them out a little bit more than just coming out every time it's down the wing, coming back and around every single time. I want to see Staunton go at his fullback, see if he can take him on, and try and be a threat instead of just coming out. It's too easy.
Grimsby haven't scored in the first half of a game for a good few games now. The last time they did it was at Shrewsbury before Christmas. The last time they did it here at Blundell Park was against Wealdstone in the last round. But they're making hard work of this, being kept out by a resolute Weston side. Out to the left wing to Vernon. What can he do with the cross? Over it goes. The goalkeeper on the stretch, stretching up. And he left it for the defender in the end. He got some gloves on it, did the keeper Max Harris, but didn't catch it at all. He was sort of caught in two minds, I think, there.
A little bit of simple tapping, wasn't it? He totally went up and missed it with his right hand, flicked it on with his left hand towards his goal, in fact, and his left centre half was just there to tidy up. He probably could have got on it, but if a town player had been there, it would have been a simple tapping.
0-0 here with 13 minutes left of the first half. Weston playing their 7th game in the FA Cup this season, which includes a second qualifying round replay when they started this season's run in mid-September. They've beaten Taunton Pool, Needham Market, and then Aldershot and Chelmsford on this run that they're on. They're trying to get on the ball here, out on the left-hand side, but it's a way for a Grimsby throw-in a defensive position. What about the attendance tonight? Just looking around Blundell Park in the last game here, it was quite a decent crowd from memory, wasn't it? Just before the turn of the year.
Yeah, the officer said they sold about 5, so it's pretty good, that.
There was 3-6 here against Wealdstone in the last round. The average at Blundell Park this season is 6-7 in League 2. Highest attendance, a sold-out Blundell Park, 8,747 against Manchester United back in August. Seems a long time ago, that, doesn't it now? That cup shock. Here is Staunton to Vernon on the wing. Backwards it comes to McEachran. Struck into the centre circle to Lavelle, who just steps outside it, and then plays a gentle pass to his left to McEachran. McEachran roams forward into McJanet. Town keeping the ball, but not really penetrating. McJanet on the ball, fizzes one out to Staunton, who puts the player on his backside, ball in towards the near post. The goalkeeper's got to touch it, breaks to the Mariners, and Staunton trying to get the ball into a crowded 6-yard box. It's gone out of a Weston boot. Grimsby corner kick.
Yeah, it's better. That's where you want to see Staunton, in that space there on his left foot. Really good whips-in cross. Keeper dealt with it, but not very well, and in the end Vernon couldn't quite get it control to get his shot in, but managed to win the corner,
which will be taken by Charles Vernon, who takes 3 steps back, flings up his left arm, curls a ball in towards the front post, beaten away comes back out to the Mariners, and Vernon gets it from Staunton, still on the left-hand side, fizzes one in, headed over the top by Cameron McJanet. It's difficult for him to keep that ball down, I think. Over the top, goal kick Weston.
Yeah, just needed the glance without the sort of real contact, and they could have guided it into that far corner, but just a bit too heavy. Kind of headed it rather than just letting it hit him to take the weight off it and keep it low. But it's better when the crosses are coming in. I think sometimes we're just too quick to come back out and around there. You see 3 crosses going in, and the crowd are going. There's a bit more energy now, and that's going to make them defend, get in the danger areas a bit more than what we have done.
Grimsby are moving the ball a lot from left to right, right to left, as teams often do these days. They're playing against part-time opposition this evening. Do you think as the game wears on that we might see that as a factor that's going to tire them?
Yeah, I think that will have been discussed without a shadow of a doubt. The fitness level should be a lot higher, being a full-time operation than what Weston Supermare are, and Tom seems to be playing that way to try and wear them out.
Here is George McEachran running the wrong way outside his penalty area. Little back heel from him, smashed away downfield on the right boot of Warren, up towards Soonsup Bell, but it breaks back to Weston Supermare in defence. And here's the bearded Sam Avery, former Gloucester centre-back. 36 years of age, back through to his goalkeeper, Max Harris. Right-footed away downfield. Grimsby in defence with Staunton now. His run out towards the touchline is blocked by Dawes, so the avenue of attack is switched. And here now is Lavelle along the ground to Tyrell Warren. I think someone's either let off a firework or a smoke bomb, because we can see it hanging heavy in the air underneath the floodlights here at Blundell Park. You can smell it a bit as well, can't you, Crofty? Unless that's your new aftershave that you got for Christmas.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, more than likely. McJanet with a pass to McEachran on the left side. On now towards Corey. Picked up here by Vernon. Short pass to Staunton. Evan Corey being forced back up the touchline by Bernard. McJanet coming forward, spots a little opening. Infield now to Soonsup Bell, 25 yards out. Feeds it wide to Dara Burns, the Grimsby winger on the right-hand side. Ball into the penalty. Deflect towards Soonsup Bell, who hooked a boot at the ball. Couldn't quite guide his effort goalwards with the power that he wanted, and the goalkeeper Max Harris gobbles up the ball.
Well, it's sort of starting to work them out a little bit. You can see a few gaps maybe starting to open up. Town sort of pressing all across the field there, and McJanet sort of coming in there and helping with the attack. Walker puts pressure on Spokes and forces the error. Vernon picks it up on the left-hand side, trying to get away from Bernard. Coming infield now, Charles Vernon to McEachran, stabbed forward, and this is Warren in the penalty area trying to get his shot away. It's blocked at source by Avery, who was quickly at him there, and the ball breaks to the Weston Supermare goalkeeper. Yeah, we're trying to make things happen. Warren especially keep pushing into that midfield area there. I don't think realised he had the chance to turn as early as he should have, because he was in a bit of space, but good recovering tackle there, wasn't it, by Avery? Grimsby starting to get on top really in the game, although the visitors have just slung it forward. Met in the air by Lavelle, struck clear by McEachran, pulled down neatly there by Vernon. He comes infield, takes Smith with him. Vernon then turns back and then will play it away to McJanet, who angles the ball out to the left to Staunton. Staunton starts to move forward. Down the touchline he's got Corey. Staunton wants it back. Quick exchange of passes between the pair. 2 Weston defenders across. Still with Staunton. Back to the Weston goal. It's one side of throw-in, which he's quite keen to take quickly, but then thinks better of it because there's quite a few static Grimsby players around him. Eventually he's dropped to Vernon. He feeds back up the touchline to McEachran. Here's Cameron McJanet. Across Blundell Park it goes to Lavelle. Lavelle to Walker. Warren to Walker. Walker just kept it in, although he glanced over his shoulder at the linesman to see whether that had just gone out, but the ball is still alive, and Grimsby on the left-hand side with Vernon. Comes infield, just off the angle, goes for goal, drives it goalwards! Little flick there at the front post. I think it was Jude Soonsup Bell maybe, although Corey was in there too, and it was going at the goalkeeper at some pace. He did well to react to push it over the crossbar. Grimsby corner. Dominate possession now, and territory having a bit more pressure, and that ball in there. Now he started whipping the ball, and it's causing all sorts of problems. Vernon whipped that one on with real good pace, didn't he? Then I think Corey maybe just stooped and got a lovely little touch on it, but it was just a bit too close to the keeper, who kind of had to react quite quickly, but then just had a comfortable push over the bar.
It was Soonsup Bell who had the effort goalwards there, but it was a good cross in. Grimsby corner, the work it short. Vernon's got it back on the right foot, goes for goal! Brilliant finish from Charles Vernam, finding the breakthrough here at Blundell Park 5 minutes before half time. A moment of magic from the Mariners winger, and Grimsby Town of League 2 lead Weston-super-Mare of National League South by 1-0.
Superb finish that, wasn't it, Charles Vernam there, and so many times we've seen him do it. It was almost like the 4 or 5 crosses before that was just practice until he got his range right, and that one was absolutely perfect, wasn't he? Come inside about 4 or 5 times, hadn't he? A whip crossing. He was getting a real feel for how to strike the ball, and it was almost like practice making perfect there, and that one certainly was perfect. Whipped in, too much pace and power for the keeper, just dipped under the bar. Really nice finish.
Charles Vernam's 8th goal of the season. It's his best scoring return for 4 seasons, and we know he's capable of those kind of finishes. He got his range just right there as he picked it up penalty area left hand side and lashed it across the goalkeeper and into the far side of the goal, and Grimsby bursting up towards the halfway line. McEachran looked to have been fouled. The referee waves the advantage the Mariners' way. Staunton wide to Staunton's teammate Vernam on the left hand side. He's bursting forward, getting across into the penalty area. The goalkeeper's got there, comes to the edge of the penalty area. It'll be brought away by Cummings, and Cummings out towards the left hand side.
Yeah, good run across there by Charles Vernam again there. Slammed that one across with his left foot. Can go either way. The fullback doesn't quite know what to do now. Vernam looks confident. Town look like a new team, don't they now? There's a bit more belief in it.
Here is Soonsup Bell picking up a loose ball. Long way out, right-footed shot. He decides to go for goal. Breaks off the back of the defender, and Weston will clear away for now. McEachran picking up the ball in midfield, and now the home fans really getting behind the team. They were a little bit edgy beforehand, and for good reason. Ball's played in field by Warren, Gary Croft.
Yeah, you can maybe see what Town were trying to do. You can sense it was coming. The build-up was just starting to find some gaps, wasn't we, over the last 5 or so minutes, and Town are breaking again.
Warren's picked up the ball and lays it away towards Burns, who plays it into the penalty area. Soonsup Bell on the right foot gets a shot in. It's blocked at source, and the ball will bounce away. It's gone for a throw into Grimsby on the right side of the Western box. 42.5 minutes have gone, and underneath the big scoreboard between the Ramsden's family stand and the Osmonds stand here at Blundell Park, Grimsby have got the throw-in.
Just looked like he overcomplicated that bit there, didn't he? Soonsup Bell just needed a swing and a hit, and he had about 4 or 5 touches. He didn't really need to take that many.
Grimsby with the ball then on the right-hand side, and this is Staunton. The Western players are appealing for the throw-in. Town have got it though, and they're coming forward here with McJanet. Low ball along the ground. Vernam infield now to Walker, midway up the box, closed down by 2 Western players. Back up the touchline to Vernam. Vernam brings Walker back into it. His deflected cross falls back to McJanet, still on the Grimsby left. The Mariners with the lead by 1-0. Charles Vernam's strike, an outstanding strike as well at the Osmond stand end of the ground. Vernam's on the ball now, in towards McJanet, pings a cross in towards the near post. The keeper plucks the ball out of the air.
Well, it's almost like the handbrake's off now, isn't it? You know, they've been quite a timid performance by Town, has it? A little bit scared perhaps. The shackles are off a bit now. Everyone looks like they're enjoying themselves a bit more.
Here is Britton, who's having such a good season in National League South. I enjoyed an interview that he did with our colleagues at BBC Radio Bristol. He's a painter and decorator by trade. That's the day job for Lewis Britton, former Bristol City Academy player. He's gone the long way around to try and make a success of his career. He's been over to Ireland and now he's back in this country. He's a Bristol lad, is Lewis Britton. Not had a sniff though so far tonight. Grimsby have got the ball. Infield to Corey. Back to Lavelle, and it'll be worked across the defence. And Cameron McJanet on the halfway line with the possession. Here's Charles Vernam. Vernam coming infield. Zips one in to Soonsup Bell. Passes back to Charles Vernam, who looked cross-field for the pass. Strikes Luke Coulson. in the centre circle has been lost by George McEachran, and maybe Weston might profit here. Coulson attacking the Grimsby shirts. Ball to the edge of the penalty area. It's inside the box. Weston have got the ball, but it just wouldn't quite sit up there for Lewis Britton. He pirouetted inside the box, and it just wouldn't come into a position where he could get his shot away.
Yeah, it was a 4v4, wasn't it? Town were quite stretched, and Britton nearly got it under control, but just came behind him, didn't he? And Janet got back in well and recovered.
It's a throw-in for Weston. They'll be sensing, though, that they can get back into this one. Cummings has taken the ball away from McEachran illegally, and that will be a Grimsby Town free kick in defence. 1-0 to Grimsby Town here in this FA Cup third round match. Weston featuring in the third round for the first time in their 138-year history this evening. Their previous best performance in this competition was the second round in the 03-04 season. The highest they've finished as a club is 7th in Conference South in 2012-13. That's half time at Blundell Park. Grimsby Town getting the goal when they needed it the most to settle themselves in this game. It's been a bit edgy, hasn't it, Gary Croft? But that goal will do them the world of good.
Yeah, very nervous performance, to be fair, for the first 25-30 minutes. Town really struggling to get the ball forward and find any kind of space in between, and they were very disciplined and good on the ball, to be fair. They broke the lines quite well. They were quite direct whenever they got a chance to put the ball in. Probably had the best two efforts on target, didn't they, throughout the first half an hour. And then Town just seemed to be just finding their way a little bit more. You could see the play sort of move up the pitch, and they were getting pegged back, and then all of a sudden a few holes started to develop. We just sensed it just before Town scored. The quality started to happen. We started to get the ball in the box more frequently, and then in the end, after having about 3 or 4 good crosses, whipping them in, he found his range, didn't he, Charles Werner, with a superb strike. And in the end, you have to say it's probably a fair reflection on the overall of the half. I mean, the possession stats are obviously massively in Town's favour, but it doesn't tell the story of where that was. It was very much in our own half throughout most of that game, wasn't it? But all of a sudden, once the goal went in, the handbrake was off and we were playing. Everyone was getting full, but Janek's down on the byline, and the Town looked like the sort of thing's been lifted off them now, and they're a bit more free to go and play. But we've just seen there that there's still a danger on the break. They're not just going to lay down. But I think Town are just going to probably keep the ball like they have. I think the manager will be really pleased. I think that's what he will be thinking tactically, though, keeping the ball. Eventually we'll find the gaps, they'll start to tire, and I think that even happened in the first half. So I think we'll just see more of the same second half, and hopefully some more gaps developing in the Weston-super-Mare defence.
More to come from Gary Croft in the second half here at Blundell Park. Grimsby Town leading Weston-super-Mare then by 1-0, and it's Charles Vernon's strike as we closed in on half-time, splitting the teams. Leo Joslin can round up all the rest of the scorelines from across the country from the FA Cup third round day. Leo,
thank you very much, Matt. Cheers. We'll be back for second half shortly, but I will bring you up to date with what's going on around the rest of the country. First, starting with the FA Cup third round then. At full time, it finished Cheltenham Town 0, Leicester City 2, Everton 1, Sunderland 1, Sunderland winning 3-0 on penalties. Finished Macclesfield 2, Crystal Palace 1. The holders knocked out by a non-league side for the first time since 1909. Finished Wolverhampton Wanderers 6, Shrewsbury Town 1. Boreham Wood 0, Burton Albion 5, Burnley 5, Millwall 1, Doncaster Rovers 2, Southampton 3, Fulham 3, Middlesbrough 1, Ipswich Town 2, Blackpool 1, Manchester City 10, Exeter City 1, Newcastle United 3, Bournemouth 3, Newcastle going on to win 7-6 in a penalty shootout. Finished Sheffield Wednesday 0, Brentford 2, Stoke City 1, Coventry City 0. And looking at the half-times in the FA Cup third round as well, it's currently Bristol City 2, Watford 0, Cambridge United 0, Birmingham City 2. In our Humberside Sport commentary on all frequencies and BBC Sounds for UK listeners, it is currently Grimsby Town 1, Weston-super-Mare 0, and Aston Villa have just gone 2-0 up away at Tottenham Hotspur right before the half-time break. There is one late kick-off in the FA Cup. That's Charlton Athletic versus Chelsea at 8 o'clock. In the Women's Super League, there's one game earlier today that finished goalless between Arsenal and Manchester United. To League 2, a few postponements Bradford City, Rotherham United, Burton Albion, Doncaster Rovers and Mansfield Town Reading all postponed. In the games that did take place, it finished Luton Town 2, Stevenage 1, Stockport County 1, Huddersfield Town 0, Leyton Orient 1, Cardiff City 1 and Peterborough United 3. Bolton Wanderers 1. Lots of postponements in League 2. 2 games did take place. They finished Crewe Alexandra 1, Harrogate Town 1 and Tranmere Rovers 0, Bromley 2. And looking at the National League as well, full times finished Aldershot Town 1, Solihull Moors 5, Sutton United 1, York City 2 and Woking 4, Hartlepool United 0. One game just gone into the second half there. It's goalless between Braintree Town and Boston United. Whilst we wait for the second half then, let's hear a bit from David Artell. This week, Grimsby Town extended the loan of goalkeeper Jackson Smith until the end of this season. The Mariners head coach has been telling us why he's moved to keep Smith until the end of the campaign.
Well, obviously Christie's out for an extended period of time. He's done well. We obviously had him last year. We know his capabilities, his character, and we felt that's the right thing to do. So when you factor in all them things, the other thing to say is the FA on an emergency loan, if a goalkeeper's out for an extended period of time, and you have an emergency loan, there's an expectation that the FA will ask you to extend for a longer period, and that's what we've done. What we don't want to do is go throughout the transfer window having an emergency loan, and then into February emergency loan, and then Christie comes back, because like I say, the emergency loans are there for a reason, and although the wording's a little bit vague, they do expect you to bring in a goalkeeper if it's for an extended period of time, and Christie's injury is. So, that we've sort of been forced to do it, but at the same time, we would have probably done it. I'm not going to lie or hide behind that. That's the truth. And we're delighted that he's on board.
What's the time frame then on Christie's rehabilitation?
February sometime. I don't know specifically when. Obviously, it's significant enough that he's out for whatever it is, 10, 12, 8. I don't know I don't know when he did it. I can't remember when he did it, and I don't know when he's out till. So I don't want to say 10 and everyone goes, he's back on the 8th of February, because I don't know what that day is. But like I say, because he's out for an extended period of time, you're sort of forced into doing it anyway, and we're quite happy with Jacko and what he's done. So it ticks all the boxes.
And can you quash the rumour that's been doing the rounds that Christie's left the club?
I could definitely do that, yeah. Listen, I get it. It's silly season. We get keyboard warriors at the best of time, but people put 2 and 2 together and don't even come up with 5. They come up with 55, and yeah, it's just nonsense. I got told this morning that I'd fallen out with him. I certainly haven't fallen out with him. He's a great guy. I'll have breakfast or lunch with him at some point, and I have done since he's been injured, and I'll continue to do that. He's a really good guy. Yeah, that's ultimate rumours that are just 12-year-olds making up complete and utter nonsense.
Mariners head coach David Artell talking to Humberside Sports' Matt Dean about the loan of goalkeeper Jackson Smith until the end of the season. Ahead of kick-off this evening, Grimsby Town Chair Andrew Pettit joined us to talk about a range of subjects, including new investment and the January transfer window. One name that's been doing the rounds over the last few days is that of former Mariners striker Andy Cook. Pettit's been speaking to Humberside Sports' Matt Dean about if there's anything in the rumours.
Obviously, I remember Andy very fondly from his days previously at the club, and he was here at a time when there was quite a lot of competition for places, but he was still, and he's gone on to have a fabulous career. He's now at the other end of his career, and I don't think there's any secret that someone like him would be an interesting signing for us. Yeah. But having said that, there's not just 23 other clubs in League 2, but other clubs in League 1 where I suspect he'd have aspirations as well that might also be looking at someone like Andy if he were to be available. But he is someone that we're interested in, but there's lots of other people we're interested in as well. We've got a list of players that we're evaluating and deciding kind of how we progress, and that's the nature of this time of the season. all I would encourage fans to do is not to believe everything they read on Twitter or the fishy.
Yeah, and that's why it's important for you and I to have frank conversations, really, because otherwise there's a vacuum that's filled, and people just fill it, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and look, we're all fans at heart, and we're all fascinated to know what's going on, but until something's done, it's not done, and sometimes the speculation can, particularly because of our Jamestown connection, the speculation can be unhelpful, because other clubs who may see as a, particularly if we're approaching someone. I mean, Andy Cook's a different story because he is a well-known quantity, but if we were looking at a young lad out of the Slovakian Premier League or something like that, and people might get competition that is unwelcome.
So, are you looking overseas then, specifically in this window?
We do have a number of targets overseas as well that we're looking at, and again, what's interesting is at this time of year there are certain leagues that are finished, so those leagues are in a closed season, and so there's a different sort of dynamic. It's almost their August now rather than their January in that context.
That's fascinating. Let's discuss Alex Hughes, because he joined, didn't you, earlier on last year as your new player recruitment lead. What impact is he having in this window, would you say?
Oh, he's fantastic. He's got a really very detailed eye for a player. He works very hard. He's again really embraced the process with Jamestown, and he's added quality to what we were previously doing in terms of the detail of dossier that he puts together for players that we're looking to bring to the club. So no, he brings a level of experience, a calmness, and he's very much part of the management team that David's built around him.
That's interesting. So he identifies talent as well as Jamestown and other members of the coaching staff. Is that how it works? So I was kind of under the impression that Jamestown was sort of leading very much on that.
No. Again, we do identify our own talent, but we do go to Jamestown and say, what do you think? And if they think that they're not very good, or they're not rated well on the data, then the chances of us pursuing that are lower. But we're constantly introducing players and wanting to get views on them. Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, thanks for that insight. How do you utilise the loan market better? How do you get more value out of your loans? Because you've had loans players in here this season, and with respect, they've not had the impact that you would have wanted.
Yeah, I think I think the loan market is more important to January than it is in August. In an ideal world, you want most of your squad to be permanent signings over the summer, and that's certainly something that we've looked at. Obviously, if you could bring real quality to the club through the loan market, then you'd think about that. As some clubs like Walsall have seen, you can have players that play well in the first half of the season, and then you get decimated. Last year they obviously really fell off a cliff because of Nathan Lowe. This year they've again lost 3 players who've been recalled to their parent clubs.
Was that why you did fewer loans last summer, by the way?
As I say, the general preference is to try and sign players on a permanent basis if we can. The idea is to try and improve players, either within Blundell Park and within the team and squad, or in some occasions like we've done with Seb Orton. We bought Charlie Casper in. Charlie Casper, is developing as a young goalkeeper. That then allowed us to send Seb out to get some real game time. So that as a use of the loan market, I think is quite. I think quite smart from David and the staff's perspective. David
told us just recently that George wants to keep his options open. This is George McEachran. His contract expires in the summer. Might you have a decision to make on him this window?
All I can say is what David said before, is we've had no approaches for any of our players, George or anyone else. We'd love him to stay. He's been one of our most important players, but as you know, it's a combination of players, agents, other clubs that will ultimately make the decision on the future of players. But George is very much an important member of our team for the foreseeable future.
And do you have an option on his contract at the end of the season should you want to trigger that?
No.
That's Grimsby Town Chair Andrew Pessett talking to Humberside Sports' Matt Dean ahead of today's kick-off. That full interview is on BBC Sounds if you want to give it a listen after full time in this game. All you have to do is go on the app or website and search for Grimsby Town.
Richard Stead.
I'm sporting a brand new hat. It's a Tyrolean hat, a narrow brimmed trilby type hat with a feather in it. I don't have any lederhosen, I just want to put that rumour to rest. This is merely me dipping my toe in the water of hat wearing, because as a bald man I would still have a very dodgy looking do if I kept it, so I choose to shave it. But for some reason people think that entitles them to come up and say to you in summer, why aren't you wearing a hat? Just letting you know, just so you know what you're listening to. The voice of a man in a hat.
Richard Stead.
Weekday afternoons from 2.
Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Humberside.
Have your say on your team. Call 08000 66 5959.
BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
And this is Matt Dean at Blundell Park. Still no sign of the players for the second period. Gary Croft, my expert summariser, off having a cup of tea at the moment, so I will just talk you through some of the scorelines from across the country in the FA Cup earlier on today. Cheltenham 0, Leicester 2. Macclesfield, the headline writers on third round day, beating holders Palace by 2-1. What an upset that has been. A comfortable win for Wolves, beating Shrewsbury of League 2 by 6-1. The players are now starting to re-emerge for the second period. You can listen to us not only on BBC Radio Humberside this evening, but also on BBC Sounds. We are across the UK on BBC Sounds, and you can also listen on BBC Sports Extra 3 if you want to do that. So, as the players come back out on this chilly night, Grimsby will be defending the goal away to our left-hand side in this second period, leading through that Charles Vernam strike. Brilliant goal it was too, as we closed in on half-time. Gary Croft, what did you make of that first half?
Well, I think it was quite even, wasn't it, for a good half an hour. Weston Supermare put a real show on and performed very well organised, disciplined, and in the end Town sort of wore them down. I think that's what happened really. Cummins was excellent. They had some good opportunities actually, possibly could have been in front.
Weston have kicked off in this second period, and they've got a throw in early on, which will be taken by Jason Pope. I can't see any changes at the interval by either side. And here is Corey with the ball clipped to the halfway line in the direction of Sudensup Bell. Grimsby have got Jackson Smith in goal, back four of Tyrell Warren, Sam Lavelle, Cameron McJanet and Rhys Staunton. As a couple of Grimsby defenders go up into the air, it breaks to Britton, edge of the Mariners penalty area. He gets his shot in, and it's tipped over the crossbar by Jackson Smith for a corner to Weston Supermare.
Yeah, real mix-up there. Just a long ball forward, and Warren and Lavelle got in each other's way, and Britton took it down ever so well. And Janet had to come across. I thought he should have dragged out his left foot to get his shot in, but caught it really well. But luckily for us, it was straight to the keeper, who managed to still needed to get a good touch on it and react quite quickly, but just pushed it over the bar.
The Western corner will come in from their right-hand side. The visitors from National League South are wearing royal blue shirts with canary yellow double vertical stripes, royal blue shorts and socks, as the corner is swung away from the Grimsby goal. Flicked away in the air by Sudensup Bell. Comes to the edge of the penalty area. Spokes drives in the shot, comes back out to him, cushions his header down, and there is McEachran to close down another possible cross. It's a throw-in for Weston, and it's quickly tossed back to Spokes, who drives the ball into the Grimsby penalty area, bounces off the knee of Warren, driven back inside the Grimsby box. It'll pop out eventually, and Weston will try and keep the pressure on here from a deep position in midfield. But they've started the second half, Gary Croft, with real intent, haven't they?
Yeah, really bright. Town sort of causing their own problems a little bit, but they've come at us with a good team talk, obviously, and decided we're going to go for it, and started very well.
Here's Max Harris, their goalkeeper. Thrusts one forward down the middle of the park. On the stretch is McJanet, and then the foul has been committed outside the box. And Lewis Britton has won his side a free kick just outside the D of the Mariners penalty area. In fact, it's a little bit further back actually from where the referee is right now. We're probably looking about maybe 25 yards from goal in a central area.
Yeah, it's a good position. You fancy your chances from there. You know, you can go either left or right. It'll be interesting to see where the keeper stands for this one. But I see the manager turn around and sort of a deep intake of breath for them, as if to say, "Oh, this looks like a good chance." Poor decision by the referee. I thought it was quite a harsh free kick on George McEachran there. Both players went up for the ball. It felt like George McEachran jumped into him. I didn't really think he did.
The Grimsby wall is 4 in number, and Luke Coulson is over this free kick. He scored a cracking free kick against Farnborough last Saturday in a 4-1 victory, and he's got the big run up here, hasn't he? It favours a right-footed curling effort from Coulson here outside the Grimsby penalty area. Early stages of the second half, 3 minutes into the second half, and Luke Coulson with his arms by his side, breathing deeply, feet apart. There is a big line of players awaiting in front of him, but Coulson will strike it goalwards, hits the wall, and there is Smith. He's struggling, and it's gone in. Jackson Smith couldn't keep it out as he desperately dived to his left to try and claw the ball away, but it's Weston Super Mare who are back level here at Blundell Park. The side from National League South tie it up with a deflected free kick. Game on.
Unbelievable scenes. I mean, well done to Weston. Certainly started well, but there's not much you can do about that as a Grimsby Town team. You know, everyone's in the right position. They've jumped up and tried to block the wall. It wasn't a brilliant free kick. He looked very focused for it and struck it quite well, but it's just come off someone's shoulder. The keeper managed to move his feet, dive back across and get something on it, but I think he just only managed to pull it onto the inside of the post, and then it went, and it's a good start by Weston, and now they're right back in the game. They'll be well boosted by that.
Here on the halfway line, Grimsby have got it with Lavelle. It was the visitors, though, who'd started this second half with real purpose. Ball's given away here by McJanet, and Grimsby need to get their focus back.
Yeah, just got to stay focused. I mean, you know, it has been a good start by them, but it's just in the first few minutes, we're still well in the game, obviously. There's no need to panic. Just got to get the game back under control whilst Weston come at us. They're on a high.
It's Weston's first ever third round goal, and the travelling Weston support went wild with delight at that moment. 1-1.
I don't know if someone just turned the back maybe as they jumped, and it just came off a shoulder or a head, but a wicked deflection, wasn't it? I mean, it could have gone anywhere.
It's Coulson's goal, and this is McJanet speeding the ball back through to Jackson Smith, who just couldn't quite get there, could he? No, he was trying desperately to scramble.
Yeah, he moved his feet quite well, got back across, but it's just travelling just a bit too high and far for him to scoop it out.
Here on the left-hand side of the Mariners' defence, McEachran has dropped in there, plays across to Cameron McJanet, high big ball deep into the western half. It bounces away from Dara Burns, who was the intended man, and it's gone for a goal kick to Weston Super Mare. Let me give you the side, starting with Grimsby Town and Jackson Smith in goal, on loan from Barnsley until the end of the season. Tyrell Warren, Sam Lavelle, Cameron McJanet and Rhys Staunton the back four. So 3 changes there in the defence from the side that won 1-0 at Fleetwood 10 days ago. George McEachran, the holding midfielder, he's back in today. Dara Burns too, Evan Corey and Jamie Walker inside of him, and Charles Vernon, the goal scorer, on the left. Soon took Bell in attack. This is Corey, Grimsby attacking, away to Vernon, on the dribble into the penalty area, getting a shot in. The goalkeeper's patted it down at the near post, and it's cleared out for a corner for Grimsby on the left-hand side.
Yeah, nice play by Soon Bell, linking up quite well there, and then the ball coming out to Corey, who maybe could have pulled the trigger, but got out to Vernon, who went on his left this time, and it was a good striking save by the keeper.
Grimsby corner then will be taken on the left-hand side. It's swung in towards the near post, flicked away by Lewis, the centre half, comes out to Corey, moved wide to the right to the angle to Walker. He, with an injection of pace, darts forward, lifts it deep towards the back post, drops at the back edge of the 6-yard area, lifted back inside. The goalkeeper's pedalling backwards, and Harris catches it on his goal line before bowling it away to Coulson on the left-hand side, who can make his way up towards the halfway line outside of the right boot, tries to stretch the Mariners. His ball is straight to Corey, and Town with Warren, he's dispossessed, and Coulson bursting away down the left-hand side, attacking Corey. Warren gets back, still with Coulson for Weston. His ball is wasted, and Dara Burns nips in and is fouled by Luke Spokes, and Grimsby have got the free kick and regroup.
Yeah, it's still a little bit sloppy there by Warren there, just leaving himself wide open to get the ball nicked off him, and set a little bit of panic about the tight side, but danger over quite quickly. Town recovered quite well.
Sam Lavelle is on the ball. His last game was at Bromley, his second league start for the club last month. McJanet has his run checked there by Britton. Switch to the right to Lavelle. Weston all bodies behind the ball. Lavelle in a stationary position. Home fans getting frustrated. Ball on towards Warren, who twisted towards the edge of the Weston box. He was looking for a free kick, but nothing doing there, and I think that would have been harsh on the visitors had that have been given, Gary Croft.
Yeah, that well covered by the full-back. I mean, it was a nice little drag through by Warren. He's getting forward well in them areas there, but he was never going to get on the end of that.
Ball bounces down towards McJanet, but it's taken away from him by Dawes. Then the bodies start to fly in. It's a little messy. Picked up here by Spokes. Spokes back to the centre half, Lewis. Lewis with a long ball launched forward, side-footed into the air by Warren, bounces down to Walker, who gets away from Cummings. Walker coming up towards halfway. Bernard flies in with a challenge, and he's not messing around, is he?
No, I mean, that was one for the fans, wasn't it? For their fans, they absolutely loved that. It's a renewed belief, isn't it, from the fans and from their players now. When they come forward, they know they've scored now. There's a belief they can go on and get another, I believe.
Don Bernard with that tackle, one of a few players in this Western side with league experience. He won promotion with Forest Green Rovers in 2022. Warren's on the ball for the Mariners, out to Walker. Here is Dara Burns with a back heel. Didn't look where he was knocking that ball, and it's cleared away by Spokes up towards the halfway line, onto the head of Warren, drops to Cummings, who darts away from Burns, and it's picked up now by Warren on the right hand side. He's coming forward. Walker wants it ahead of him, might get him round the back here. Walker at the byline, takes a tumble under the challenge. Was that a free kick for Grimsby?
So give it a corner, but I thought Walker actually touched it and took it out, and he maybe substituted a free kick for a corner there. He's bundled into the back of Walker. Once Walker got away from him, he couldn't get back at him.
Here it's a Grimsby corner on the right with Rhys Staunton favouring the in-swinger with a run up to the ball. Charles Vernham came in short, but I think he's going to maybe join teammates in the box, as he knows. He's just going to wait before this corner kick is actually taken. Staunton is in no rush here. We are going to see, I think, a Western change shortly, but not before this corner ball. Low in towards the near post from Staunton, struck away by Smith, comes out to Walker. Walker's looked wide left and he's given it straight to Weston. Not a good ball, because he was trying to find Walker, and he's got away with that one because Grimsby got the throw and can keep bodies forward here. Ball's out to McEachran, and here is Corey in the midfield for the Mariners, and it's to McJanet. And it's 1-1 here at Blundell Park, 11.5 minutes into the second half. The Western equaliser from a deflected free kick from Luke Coulson, 4 minutes after the restart, making it very, very interesting. Grimsby have got the ball, and this is Cameron McJanet coming forward in the Western half. Out to the left-hand side to Vernham, struck in field to Staunton, out wide left to Walker. At the byline, Grimsby crossing opportunity. Staunton drives it back, but Weston will clear away, and they will break over the halfway line now with menace. Here is Coulson. Cummings on the overlap on the left-hand side, outside the Grimsby box. Maybe shaping here to get the cross in. He gets on the ball, and instead of putting it into the penalty area, plays it back to Pope, down the touchline for Weston to Coulson. Coulson back to the luminous coloured booted Pope, and it's across to the right, and down the right it will go to Dawes. Here now is Spokes flipping it out to the right, and it's away from Dawes for a throw in to the Mariners. Gary Croft, what are you spotting?
Well, I'm seeing a team that believes they can come back, that's for sure. There's a few threats, isn't there? Coulson out here and Cummins. I was disappointed with them there. I mean, not from a town point of view, but they've been very sort of direct and normally get the crossing down the side. They came out and around there, which isn't like how they've been playing. They normally get the ball in the box and test us. It was a good time for them to do that. But Town look like they're quite comfortable when they're on the ball.
Ball fizzed up the left-hand side for the Mariners. It's headed out. We will be seeing, I think, a Grimsby change in a moment. Is it Jay's Cabia getting his tracksuit top off down there?
I'm sure it's sort of steamed up.
Well, actually, Cabia's come back from up the touchline, so it might be a double change in a moment. And Kieran Green, I think, is about to come on. Here is Burns, tucked in off the right-hand side. Ball under close control, coming square. Can't find his way through the blue shirts ahead, but then he's fouled by Luke Spokes at about 25 yards out or more. And it's a Grimsby free kick, central area.
He wasn't going anywhere, was he? But trying to work the ball onto his left foot maybe for a shot. They were managing him quite well. Bit of a silly free kick, quite far out, maybe 28 yards, that type of distance. Staunton's come onto the ball. I think he's going to fancy having a dig, and I'd say that was the way to go, really, from that kind of range in the middle. And this will make a difference, won't it? You know, with Green, his energy, and KB. I mean, I don't think Town were under any real threat, but they're not really creating enough. I think that's the problem.
Well, the player to come off is Jamie Walker, first of all, for Kieran Green's introduction.
I think Jamie Walker's done okay, to be fair. He's really working hard in the first half to try and find a net, and he made a couple of good runs down that right-hand side, and he's done okay. This is just for energy levels, isn't it? And obviously, Soonsup Bell, he's had some nice touches, hasn't he? And played a decent game, linked up reasonably well, but I think we've got a bit more pace and threat now from Cavia.
Yes. So that double change is made, and Wheelston are about to, I think, bring on their new signing, Ollie Dewsbury, who joined yesterday for the rest of the season from Bristol Rovers. He's a left winger stroke forward, but one of the Western players, Luke Spokes, is receiving some treatment from their physio. Elsewhere in the late kickoffs in the FA Cup, Bristol City are leading Watford by 2-0 in the All-Championship affair. Cambridge United trailing 2-0 at home to Birmingham, and it's Spurs 1, Aston Villa 2. The late FA Cup game at 8 o'clock is Charlton-Chelsea, and you can hear it on BBC 5 Live. But here at Blundell Park, Grimsby Town of League 2 1, Weston Supermare of National League South 1. Grimsby Town free kick, and George McEachran over the ball. He takes a big step back and then a couple of little short ones, and then we'll play the ball away to the right to Dara Burns. Burns gets it onto his left foot, stands one up into the middle, doesn't quite pierce the penalty area. Ball comes out to him though again, and Staunton flights one wide left to Vernon, who brings the ball down on his chest, driving towards the dead ball line. Crowded 6-yard box, ball comes in, blocked out, and it will go away for a Grimsby throw. Attacking position wide left-hand side, outside the Western Supermare box. It'll be taken quickly, and joining the attack is Evan Corey, back to the left-hand side. Town stroking the ball about, but then the move breaks down and it's lashed away up towards the halfway line. Warren gets there ahead of Luke Spokes, and it's gone for a Western Supermare throw-in. It will give the visitors an opportunity now to bring on Ollie Dewsbury for his debut. Dewsbury with his royal blue shirts over his shorts. He's wearing one of those tops that they wear underneath the shirt, which is also royal blue. He's only 17 years of age, is Ollie Dewsbury, so a big moment for him to make his debut here. He was the Bristol Rovers Trainee of the Year last year He has played a few times for Bristol Rovers, 18 league appearances. He's going to replace Will Dawes, the former Chippenham winger. So on comes Dewsbury then, and we will get back underway. 1-1 here, BBC Radio Humberside Sport, live on BBC Sports Extra 3 as well this evening.
Just noticed there, the referee almost ushering Dawes off, wasn't he there? He didn't want to waste any time, we'll probably be quite conscious of that.
Here's Warren, who leaps up into the air from the throw-in, nods it out ahead of Britton, and Weston creep down the touchline. Their manager Scott Rogers pointing. This throw-in just beyond the Weston technical area. Pope gets the ball back and the defender shuffles down the touchline. He's running out for a Grimsby throw-in. Don't forget to subscribe to BBC Sounds for all the latest Grimsby Town news. You can hear all the latest interviews that we post on there. Just search Grimsby Town on BBC Sounds and hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified when new episodes are available. You'll be able to listen to an interview I did with the Grimsby chairman Andrew Pettit before the game. Stray ball from Warren, that's what the groan around Blundell Park is all about. And it's a throw-in for Weston-super-Mare. 63.5 minutes have gone. Grimsby Town 1, Weston-super-Mare 1. Here is Coulson hooking the throw-in on. Comes to McJanet, and he will pass back through to Jackson Smith. Quickly to Lavelle. Lavelle now infield to McEachran. McEachran to his left to McJanet, whose run is matched by Cummings. McJanet comes back inside to Lavelle, who ambles up towards the halfway line. Warren is on the ball, making a rare recent start. Tyrell Warren. His last appearance was against Tranmere Rovers, his last start that is, at the end of November. He's got a throw in for the Mariners, and it's wide on the right, main stand side of the ground, and it's towards Burns, to Green, pulling the ball back to the edge of the area towards Curry. There's a deflected shot from Burns. It'll come back maybe through to Kabia. Can't quite get the space for the shot, and it's towed out in the end for a goal kick to Weston, who survive.
Yeah, not bad play by Town there into the feed, got set up for Burns. He put a lot of bodies around there and he just hit it straight at one, tried to sort of pass it into the far stick, didn't he? And then when it came to KB, it just wasn't quite strong enough, was it, when it went into his feet? Need to shield it and maybe lay it back for someone and try to get turned himself and maybe get the shot on, and didn't do as well as what he could have with that one.
Ball's punted long by the Weston goalkeeper. Solid header in the air by Lavelle. I was interested to hear an interview with the Weston technical director, who was on the BBC this morning, A.D. Britton, who was actually the manager of Bath City when they won here in 2009 in a cup upset. You might remember that, in that terrible season when Grimsby eventually went out of the league for the first time. But he was rather bullish when he was chatting with the BBC this morning. A.D. Britton, very respected figure in non-league circles for the work he did at Bath City. Ball lifted up towards halfway by Dara Burns. KB is beaten in the air by a strong aerial challenge from Lewis. Grimsby have got the ball though, and Charles Vernham streaking forward down the left-hand side. Getting back at him goal side is the Weston substitute Ollie Dewsbury, back with McEachran, and the home fans aren't appreciating the patient, slowly approach from the Mariners, are they?
No, they want them to force the pass through.
Here is Burns coming forward on the right-hand side, spots a bit of space at the byline, pulling the ball into the penalty area, comes to the edge of the box towards Green, thinks about the shot before laying it away to his left-hand side to Staunton. Staunton's first touch takes him outside the box on the left-hand side. He whips a dangerous ball in! There's the header at the back post over the top of the goal. Rhys Staunton with a lovely ball in, and Tyrell Warren couldn't make the most of it.
Yeah. Wow, what a chance that was. He just needed to head it straight, didn't he? And he got under it somehow. I don't know. He did well to head it over there, didn't he? Because his body ended up in the net, I think. He just needed to keep it flat and low. But what a ball in by Staunton. He had a poor first touch from Green's pass. Sent him wide, but got his foot right round the cross. Lovely whipped in ball, right between the keeper and defence. And that header over, it should have been a goal, that.
Well, Tyrell Warren has only scored once for the Mariners. He'll be kicking himself that he didn't get that on target. Had he have got it on target, as Crofty mentioned, it would have been in. Here is a header to halfway for the Mariners. Hooked on by Coulson for Weston. The chase is on here. Lavelle getting there just ahead of Britton. Heads back to Jackson Smith, who rolls it underarm to his left to Staunton. 3/4 of the way through the game, and this is still locked at 1-1. And the Mariners being held by the part-timers of Weston-super-Mare at the moment. Ball is with Bernard, lifting it up towards halfway, pulled down by Warren, the former Manchester United trainee. He's urged on down the right-hand side, pushes it into Burns. Burns being closely marshalled here by Weston players. He's got work to do if he's going to try and get an opening. Oh, it's a good ball. This is Warren pulling the ball back towards the back post, and there is Green just stretching, and he just evaded him at the back post. Oh, so close. So close. Weston smash it away down the right hand side. The way might open up here at the other end for them, but there is Cameron McJanet to get there, and he will pass back through to Jackson Smith. Gary Croft.
Yeah, well, Warren hasn't had a particularly brilliant game, but he is trying his hardest. He looks a little bit out of sorts with some of the stuff he did, but he got in a great position there. Burnsy found it with a super pass. His ball across, I think that's where he had to hit it. I think the people in the middle need to question their runs. Greeny was too far in advance, stood sort of behind the keeper, and then Vernon was even further back, and now the ball went literally 2 yards out for a simple tap-in. I think Warren did all he can there, and another great chance goes a-begging.
Spurs 1, Aston Villa 2 in the cup. Grimsby cross from the left-hand side from Staunton. It's deflected behind as Staunton looks to the upper Ramsden stand and starts to try to lift them, to try to get them behind his team. And the Mariners supporters are desperate to try and get their team over the line in this game in the final quarter of it. If we're still locked at 1-1 or 2-2 or whatever, it'll be extra time. Penalties can't be discounted. Grimsby inside the penalty area. Cabia after the ball and flips it goalwards and scores for the Mariners to restore their lead. Jays Cabia nipping in, and from about 7 yards out, delicately places the ball away from Max Harris, the Weston-super-Mare goalkeeper. And 25 minutes into the second half, Grimsby Town are back in front as they chase a place in the fourth round of the Cup for only the second time in 26 years. Might that goal be enough? Grimsby Town 2, Weston-super-Mare 1.
Yeah, it's a super finish by KB. He's going to get a label super sub there. Just turned around the corner by McJanet. I think the defenders thought the keeper was going to get it. Pope kind of waited for his keeper to come. KB didn't give up on it though, and all it needed was a little toe. The keeper had come out and he just popped it over him. A real nice poacher-like finish, and he's on fire at the moment, isn't he, KB? He's gone for a patch of not scoring for months, and then all of a sudden he's got all these goals, and that's a super finish there. Real confidence in that one. Very, very nice little finish there. Just lift it over the keeper, just on the half volley, on the bounce. Put Town back in command, and to be fair, you could see it coming a little bit. They got control of the game again after having a bit of a dodgy 10 minutes after the restart, and now Weston-super-Mare have got it all to do again.
A change for the visitors. Don Bernard has gone off to be replaced by George Robertson, who's down the left-hand side here with his early contribution. Ball into the Mariners penalty area, straight to a black and white striped shirt though, and it'll be cleared away by Evan Corey, who hoists it up towards the halfway line. Meets the boot of Sam Avery, who's tidied it up. How Grimsby needed that goal, and the relief around 3/4 of Blundell Park was really, really noticeable, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a good time to score, because the closer it gets towards the end, the more you can see some time wasting going on, trying to take it into sort of extra time and penalties, and Town kind of deserved it really. Started to create a few more bits.
2 goals in 2 games for Jace Cabia. He saved the day at Fleetwood, and he might well have saved Grimsby's bacon here tonight. Little flick here from Dara Burns. Grimsby throw in. Can the Mariners now go on to win this game and see it through? Here on the right hand side, Warren stabs it down the line to Burns. Burns gets it onto his left boot. Forward into the middle towards Corey, edge of the penalty area, can't thread it through, and it's tidied up there by Dewberry, who fires it out on halfway, and the Mariners have got the throw-in.
Super play by Burns there. He played a lovely ball through to Warren, didn't he, before that, and that ball, a crossfield ball to Corey there. Super, picked him out, but Corey's touch wasn't quite right.
Town being pressed here, and you can see that Weston aren't going to give up the ghost in this one, are they?
No, this is their moment, isn't it?
Warren on the right-hand side. Grimsby with a 2-1 lead. Ball in field to McEachran, little busy figure down the touchline towards Warren, who tried to delicately guide it on towards Burns, but got it wrong.
Been a mixed bag from Warren, hasn't it, tonight, really, with what he's done. He's dived in a few times and got some good crosses in, made some good runs, got involved, but then that one under his foot and out of play.
We'll get the attendance for you in a moment once I can decipher the handwriting. And it's just under 5,000. We'll give you the exact figure in a moment. Grimsby breaking though first with Green. Green ahead of him has got Burns to his right. Still with Green running into a bit of a cul-de-sac and then has the ball taken away from him. 4,851 is the attendance this evening. 571 travelling supporters from Weston. Well done to them for making that enormous journey from Somerset to North East Lincolnshire. Ball's curled away by the Warren for a throw-in to Weston, and they've got this throw-in, and with urgency Coulson takes it quickly back to Pope, the defender. Out towards the left to Coulson. Just keeps it in, did he? No, it's gone out for a Grimsby throw. Coulson is raging there, and Scott Rogers, their manager, is also unhappy too. Did you think it had gone out?
I think it did go out, yeah. It looked like an impossible angle. Played it with his right foot past the player onto the left wing there, and I think it just about went over the line. Both the linesmen and the Grimsby manager gave that decision.
So with a quarter of an hour to go, Grimsby with the ball and the lead, 2-1 ahead. Sam Lavelle passes back to Jackson Smith in a orange goalkeeping kit this evening. It's getting colder. Thankfully no wind in the air, because when the wind picks up in this part of the world, Gary Croft, we tend to know about it, don't we, here on the East Coast?
Yeah.
But it's a still night in Cleethorpes. Ball in the centre circle. Blue shirts coming forward for Weston, and here is Coulson through the middle. Corey tracks him, commits the foul. Can't believe it. It's a yellow card though for Evan Corey, and the referee's given the free kick as well to the visitors at about 40 yards out from the Grimsby goal.
And you can see it affected the ball. You saw the ball move, but perhaps though he went through the player to get to the ball. I think the booking's quite harsh though, and they've got a free kick in quite a good position. It's almost punishment enough.
Too far out, one suspects, for a shot here, Gary Croft.
Yep.
But it allows Weston to apply pressure.
It's not anyone wide though, so you think you're just going to dink it up, put it to one of the big men, sending the centre halves up.
A couple of Western players over this ball, and it's with Smith, who's got the run up. It's at least 40 yards out, I would say. Michael Smith, now 37 years of age, a little bit of grey hair in there. He'll play it short to Coulson. Coulson lifts the ball into the Mariners' penalty. A downward header. This is an opportunity, and it's been stared in. And Lewis Britton has equalised for a second time tonight for the National League South side. Grimsby didn't deal with the free kick routine, and it caused all sorts of chaos inside the Grimsby penalty area. The ball broke to Lewis Britton, and Weston's top scorer slotted it past Jackson Smith in the Grimsby Town goal. With 13 minutes remaining at Blundell Park, Weston Supermare have made it 2-2.
Yeah, look, far too simple that there. The free kick came in low, and once it was headed on there, it just seemed like Town went to sleep. There's 2 or 3 players around the ball that could have done it. No one followed in with their players. They seemed to let everyone run. Once they saw the short free kick, they got drawn to the ball, they got whipped in, and then their men behind them just got left free, and It's a good, confident finish by Britton. He didn't have to do too much really. The keeper's come at it, but he steered it past him, and it was a really good finish. And now it's back on.
Here are Grimsby coming forward. Ball breaks though to the Weston substitute, who steams forward. Robertson away to the left-hand side to Coulson, who holds the ball up. Warren forces him inside to Spokes. Spokes strikes it to Smith. Smith down the touchline and rolling forward. An opportunity maybe for Weston to try and get the ball into the Mariners penalty area. They're holding it up with Dewsbury. Ball eventually comes in, but there is George McEachran stationed on the edge of the Mariners box on that far side, the Grimsby left, and it's been put out via a deflection for a goal kick to the Mariners.
They've just gone to sleep, totally in control for Baytown, weren't they? Like I say, after that dodgy start to the second half, Town seemed to just manage it and get back in the game, creating chances, but went to sleep on that free kick, got done by a decent routine there, and a few players just totally switched off.
Balls into the Western half. Green unable to control it and poked to the halfway line. Now to Britton, the goal scorer. His deflected ball breaks towards Evan Corey, but the referee's given the free kick for the challenge by Sam Lavelle on Britton.
Yeah, I don't get that one. That's just a block pass. He tried to swing and sort of make a big pass crossfield, and he was the one swinging his leg, and all Sam Lavelle did was block it. And he's put that down as a free kick. He got something on the ball for me there, and it's a soft one. Town in a good position there to break.
You with BBC Radio Humberside, BBC Sports Extra 3 on BBC Sounds, and it's finally poised with 11 minutes of normal time to go. 2-2.
Maybe making some more subs. Tory's taking his top off, and I just see Tham take his bib off. I don't know if he's coming on or not.
Ball sent to the edge of the Mariners penalty area. McJanet's beaten in the air by a strong challenge from Lewis, the centre half. Weston will keep the pressure on. Crossing chance here for Spokes. Ball goes into the Mariners penalty area, headed away by McJanet, only as far as Coulson. Scuffed effort from him, and it's gone for a Grimsby free kick in the build-up there as the shot came in.
Ref had blown out, Coulson took a nice touch coming onto that, but couldn't quite get it down, but it didn't matter because the whistle had gone. But it's been a bit of a frenetic 5 minutes since the goal, hasn't it? Town haven't settled back down again.
Not at all. And Geyser David Tory, Grimsby Town's Faroe Islands international, is getting some, I think, instructions down there. He was one of the substitutes being spoken with. We'll see who actually comes on in a moment. Here is Dara Burns slotting one on into the penalty. A little back heel from Jace Cabia. It strikes a Western player, and it's played downfield by Lewis, who the ball hit, and he's cleared away the danger. But Grimsby will come again. And Cameron McJanet into the centre circle, tiptoeing his way inside the Western half, angles a ball low along the ground to Vernon. Vernon starts to come forward, touches it off to Evan Corey. Now Staunton to Vernon on the left hand side, level with the Western box at a stationary position, pushes the ball back to Corey, off to McEachran. 2-2. Cambridge 0, Birmingham 3 in the cup this evening in one of the late kickoffs. Ball's played back to Cameron McJanet. McJanet midway through the Western Supermare half. What's the cross like? It's deep towards the back post. Goalkeeper struggling. Two Grimsby players went up into the air. Breaks right side though for Dara Burns, does it? Well, he's got a defender across, and it's broken off Burns for a throw into Western Supermare.
Just a big lofted crossing, wasn't it? Keeper made that one look really difficult, didn't he? He had players in front of him, but took a bit of a flap at it. Really a brilliant cross to go in attack. Interesting. I mean, you wouldn't really look at our bench though, would you, and think Tory's the man to sort of bring on at this stage when you want another goal.
We're going to see Tyrell Serrels-Fleming, I think, given a Grimsby Town debut in a moment. He's getting some instructions. The Mariners on the ball with Burns midway inside the Western half, on towards Evan Corey, getting a shot in low along the ground. Goalkeeper makes the save comfortably behind that ball. It was straight at him, and Max Harris bounces that orange FA Cup ball a couple of times before blasting it up into the Cleethorpes air. Underneath this one is Lavelle, comes to Burns on the halfway line, takes Cummings inside, still with Burns, twisting and turning outside the centre circle, finds a bit of space but then runs at the blue shirts. In a central position, he has to move it back to McJanet. On the left hand side, Vernon's made himself available. Here is the scorer of the opening goal of the game, Charles Vernam, on 41 minutes. Taps it away to the left to Staunton, still with the Mariners and Vernam. Back to McEachran. Geyser David Torrey is about to come on, bouncing up and down on the spot, waiting for his moment. Vernam on the angle, drives in a low ball into the penalty area, knocked away to safety by the visitors, and the foul has been committed, and Weston have got the free kick. The offender is Cameron McJanet. It will be a double change for the Mariners because we will be seeing Tyrell Sellers-Fleming come on, the 20-year-old who joined yesterday from Hull City for the remainder of the season. His dad, Terry Fleming, used to play here at Grimsby Town in the 04-05 season. You would have played with him, Gary Croft. Terry Fleming.
No.
Was it just before you?
Before I came back on the second time.
So the players to come off. Charles Vernam gives way for Sellers-Fleming.
Just to see where he's going to play, if he's going to go out that way.
And George McEachran off, replaced by Geyser David Torrey.
Just a bit of fresh legs in there, isn't it?
Yes.
Really.
What have we got? 7 minutes or so left in this game, in the second half, and extra time is looming. Harris, the Weston goalkeeper, with the ball towards the edge of the Mariners penalty area, flicked it on by Cummings, cleared away inside the town box by Lavelle, but only for a moment because it's going to come back forward from the right hand side into the edge of the town box, headed up into the air. The Mariners trying to get this ball clear. Emlyn Lewis, though, the defender, putting himself about there, and it's a Grimsby free kick.
Well, he's jumped at the player there, hasn't he? Silly free kick, really, by the centre half from their point of view.
Sully Kai has got a goal back for Cambridge at the Abbey Stadium. Cambridge 1, Birmingham City 3. It looks probably too little too late, though, for the U's, where Grimsby were due to play in their last match, but it was called off at 12 noon due to a frozen pitch. The Mariners have got the ball, and this is Sellers-Fleming for his first touch, and likewise for Torrey. Rolled across to the right to Lavelle, who advances forward on to the edge of the box to the Mariners' top scorer, Cabia. Back to Lavelle, down the right-hand side to Green. Crossing opportunity. Ball goes in towards the near post, and the shot is sent goalwards by Cabia, but it's been deflected wide. I think the goalkeeper got back and made the save, but in the build-up there, Sellers-Fleming went down.
Yeah, it looked like a nudge in the bat. I don't know if it made the most of it or not, but it came through to Cabia anyway, and they'll be really disappointed with that finish. A nice connection on the side foot there, and the goal was wide open to the near post, but he stuffed it into the player sliding in behind him.
Good chance for KB, as you point out, Crofty. Right hand side, here's a Grimsby corner, swung in with menace. There's Green! There's the header! And there is the goal! Kieran Green glancing the ball into the far side of the goal at the pontoon stand end of the ground. The Weston defence buckles late in the game. The visitors, having twice come from behind to peg Town back, may well be out of it now. Kieran Green, the Mariners substitute, might well be saving Grimsby's bacon with 4 minutes left. Grimsby Town 3, Weston Supermare 2, and the Mariners now on the brink of the 4th round.
Yeah, absolutely undefendable that. Brilliant free corner in from Reese. He hasn't been knocking him in that well as he through the game. His quality's been up and down throughout the game, but that one was absolutely perfect to the near post, well worked, and the leap from Green, he met the ball at his optimum height. He was right off the ground by a good foot by the looks of things, and he skimmed off his head, and he just floated over everyone into the back stick. Could have done with someone on the back stick, they might have been able to defend it, but other than that, brilliant goal by Town.
The moment it left Green's head, though, we were right behind it, weren't we? Yeah. And that was goal bound, wasn't it?
Yeah, someone on the back stick there would have been able to clear that one off, but they had no one on the back stick there, and the caught in by Reese there was brilliant.
3-2 to Grimsby, but Weston have got a throw. Yeah. Plucky Weston. Here comes the long throw into the Mariners penalty area, onto the head of Tyrell Warren, knocked back forward by Pope. The Mariners trying to get the ball clear of their defence. It's with Robertson on the left-hand side. Foot in from Burns. Weston throw again. main stand side of the ground, and Pope has got it to Spokes. Spokes inside. Surely there's no way back for Weston now. Ball flipped up towards the edge of the Mariners penalty area. Spokes has lost it. Cummings tries to keep the pressure on. Green leaves it for Tory. Meaty challenge there from Avery, the defender. More changes on the way. I think there's going to be 3 for Weston and 1 for Grimsby. Rogers is about to come on for the Mariners, whilst Wilson, Ellison and Jagger Kane all are stripped off and ready to go. We've got 2.5 minutes left of normal time. Grimsby Town 3, Weston Supermare 2.
They're going to throw the kitchen sink at it here, aren't they? We're going to go 3 in the back,
and they need to be applauded really for making a fist of it as a game, because they are continuing to pursue a goal. And they're at that point in the game where they have to, but through the whole of this game they've been tenacious, haven't they, Weston?
Been out of it completely.
Here's Cummings on the ball, towing it to the left hand side, crossing opportunity deep beyond the back post, across on the right hand side. Weston will keep it in, and Ollie Dewsbury getting the crossing towards the Mariners penalty area in the front post. Town should clear this ball away down the left hand side. A thunderous kick long by Staunton, almost connected there with Cabia, but it's back with the Weston Supermare goalkeeper, who wraps a right boot around the ball and arrows it forward. It's going to come back at Weston though, and this is Sellers Fleming on towards Cabia. Cabia facing the goal, and here on the overlap is Green. Ball pings off him through to the goalkeeper, who gathers it in.
Nice play there. Cabia took that well, actually. It's a firm passing, what about Sellers Fleming? Did well to take it, and then didn't even know Green was sort of coming, and must have heard him. Tried to play it in his path, but Green's touch was a bit too big.
Balls fired long downfield by Harris, helped on in the air by Lewis, the defender, who's still forward, but the foul has been committed there on Cameron McJanet, and we will see these changes now for the sides. We've got about a minute left of normal time, and it's 3-2 to Grimsby Town. And
it's a difficult one. Rogers looks like a straight swap maybe for Warren, but other than that, unless it's going to go to a 5 and sort of firm it up at the back, depends what they're going to do now, doesn't it, to be fair? Three changes. They'll be taking some risks, aren't they, now?
They are, and the first player to come on is Kane. Avery has gone off, one of the changes. Cummings has also departed, and the final player to be coming off is Luke Spokes. So make of that what you will, Gary Croft. Get your head around all those changes all at once.
No idea. It's going to be a free-for-all, isn't it? It's just going to be get busy and make it hard for them. Get the ball forward as quick as possible. Get it in the box. When you're wide, it's going to be Tyrell Warren just coming off. It's just a straight swap. I thought that's what it would be. Warren's worked really hard. Not everything's gone for him, but he's done all right. He should be applauded. He doesn't hide. That's one thing for sure about Warren. He's affected the game. And now just a straight swap. This looks like a solid way of solid in the defence, really, isn't it?
Amongst those changes, Scott Wilson for Weston. Well travelled striker on loan from Bath City. Is 33 tomorrow, is Scott Wilson. And in his second spell with Weston, he will try and get a late equalising goal in this game. 3-2 to Grimsby. Weston have got the ball, and the Grimsby change, as Gary Croft mentioned, Tyrell Warren has come off to be replaced by Harvey Rogers, who's been a mainstay of the team this season. On the left-hand side, it's with Weston Supermare. They'll flick it across the park. Wide on the right, it's with Smith. Down the touchline, he's got Dewsbury dancing infield, runs into Cabia. Still a Weston though, and Smith will move infield from the right-hand side, laying it into Kane, the substitute. Back to the halfway line, it goes to Ellison, the substitute. High ball into the Mariners penalty area. Smith is there just to get there ahead of Lewis Britton, who was leaping really early there, and I was thinking for a split second, Gary Croft, he was going to win it.
It could have been a bad decision, but he didn't take it at his highest points, that's for sure. So there was a chance of Britton getting there, but he just a little bit too high for him, and in the end he took it well.
Ball's back with Harris, the Weston goalkeeper. Long to the halfway line. On in the air by Lewis. Here now is Britton. Britton out towards the left-hand side. And Weston keeping possession. Lewis at the byline, the defender, getting the ball in, under pressure here from Kieran Green, who did enough to put him off. And the cross is behind the Grimsby goal. And it's going to be a goal kick, and we are playing added time. I didn't see the fourth official in all of that, because I think the fourth official was making all the changes. We've got 5 additional minutes, have we? Thank you, Gary Croft. You do have your uses. Goal back for Cambridge. It's now Cambridge 2, Birmingham 3 in the Cup. Another goal for sort of Kai. That's his second in the last few moments, making it interesting down there at the Abbey Stadium. It's very interesting here at Blundell Park. Normally, this stage of the game, fans start to leave the ground, but not many have left the seats, have they?
No.
This evening. Here is Jackson Smith, slips as he clears downfield, manages to get the ball low into the Western half. Kabia leaps, comes down to Ellison forward for Weston, breaks to Green in the centre circle, and Grimsby over the halfway line now with Evan Corey, smoothing it away to the left-hand side to Sellers Fleming, who turns on the turbos, out on the left-hand side of the penalty area, rides one challenge, got back up to his feet, having lost his footing there, still with the Mariners on the left-hand side, and it's out for a Weston throw-in at right back. Grimsby Town 3, Weston Supermare 2, live on BBC Radio Humberside Sport with Matt Dean and Gary Croft. Closing stages of this one. Ball is lifted long by the Weston goalkeeper out to the left-hand side. Weston aren't done here. Coulson with a cross into the town box. Maybe a shooting opportunity for the visitors, and it's bounced through to Jackson Smith. The visitors wanted a penalty there as the
there's a big centre-half
Weston
came through.
Centre-half was trying to steamroller his way through.
He took it on his chest quite well, really, to be fair. It looked like he was bouncing, and as he went to strike it, I think he maybe struck one of the town players.
Ball comes through to Kabir in the front line for the Mariners as the ball goes from end to end. And the Irishman away to Rogers, the town substitute. Further ahead is Burns outside the penalty area. Defender at his back, still with Dara Burns. Forced wide to the right-hand side, down by the corner quadrant. Can't quite hold the ball up. And Weston with Coulson will lay it back through to Harris, their goalkeeper. Allows the ball to run across his body in all green tonight. Harris with the ball boomed up towards the halfway line. Doesn't quite reach it, but he does find a Weston player who's given it away for a sec there to Tyrell Sellers Fleming. Left-hand side, Staunton for the Mariners. Shuffling down the left-hand touchline. Taking a man with him. Still with Staunton, running it down towards the corner flag. Corner flag is his destination, with Weston players back and front there as he made a bit of progress in holding that ball up, Rhys Staunton, but it's eventually gone for a Weston throw-in, has it? Oh, it's a Grimsby throw-in.
Don't know what the ref's doing.
Is that what you're signalling?
Well, the ref seemed to point like that, but the ball's just on the floor now, and there it is. It's Sellers Fleming who's going to take it.
Suddenly I made you the linesman there, Gary Croft, because I didn't spot
get on with it.
The linesman's decision. Grimsby Town have got the throw-in, and they are deep inside the Western half, and they're so close to the fourth round. Western National League South have given it everything this evening, but Grimsby Town might just be about home and hose. We've played the full 5 minutes of added on time. The referee blows his whistle, and Grimsby Town are through to the fourth round of the FA Cup for the second time in 3 seasons. The joint lowest ranked side left in the Cup have given the Mariners an almighty scare here in Cleethorpes tonight. Seeking a first ever league scalp, they were chasing the game at all points during the match, pegging the Mariners back twice during the contest. They deserve full credit, Gary Croft, for making this a real cup tie here this evening. Grimsby Town, though, through to the fourth round, winning 3-2 in the end.
Yeah, in the end, you've got to say credit having to Western Superman. They've made a real fist of it. You could say Town made hard work of it, but Western Superman made it hard for Town. They started really, really well, didn't they, through the game, and they had the best 2 chances in the first half an hour. And Town got to grips with it, looked threatening, got the goal. You think they're going to go on and win it, but there must have been some team talk at half time. They came out all fired up again, kicked on and got the lucky break. I mean, they didn't have abundance of chances in the second half. Town sort of managed the game quite well. Town go back in front, you think it's all over again, but they just wouldn't lie down, would they? They came again, threw bodies forward, and it wasn't always big long stuff. There was some nice work play and stuff like that, and the work free kick in the end. Town got no excuses for that one. It wasn't deflection, it was just really well worked, wasn't it? And a couple of Town players switched off, didn't follow the men in, and it's a nice tidy finish. And you're dreading penalties tonight, you think that's the way it's going to go. But then a nice bit of quality at the end there. Rhys Staunton, lovely corner. You know, you have to say Town deserved it. Brilliant header by Greeny, just a gentle flick off his head. Knew exactly what he was doing into the back corner. And after that, it was just a case of seeing it through, which they did quite well. Weston Supermen brought on loads of men. They were throwing bodies forward. They were passing it through still. They were nearly getting there, but Town were quite resilient and well organised themselves. And I think in the end, you have to say they deserved to go through. But it's been a great game to watch.
It has. A very entertaining cup tie here at Blundell Park this evening. The Mariners see off non-league opposition for the third time in the Cup this season. Weston Supermare's FA Cup journey comes to an end, one that started back in September, and they have played plenty of games in this competition this season, but this one a bridge too far for the side currently second in National League South. They can't match the antics of Macclesfield, mind you, who could on a day like today after that victory. But Grimsby Town will be breathing a huge sigh of relief to make it through into the last 32 of the Cup. The draw for the fourth round, Monday evening, 6:35, pre the Liverpool versus Barnsley tie. The Mariners will be ball number 22. Do give us your thoughts here on BBC Radio Humberside. It's finished Grimsby Town 3, Weston Supermare 2. And the usual numbers apply if you want to get in touch with us here this evening. We'll be getting hopefully post-match reaction between now and 8 o'clock. That's what we're taking the programme through until. I'm your host as well as your commentator. We'll replay some of the goals, in fact all the goals for you very soon, to give you a sense of the story that we've seen unfold here tonight. The Weston Supermare players are enjoying the moment away to our left-hand side with their supporters, 571 of them, with the noise, and they did make a din, didn't they, tonight?
Oh, they've been superb right from like 45 minutes before the kick-off. They've enjoyed the day, and it's fitting that they've got 2 goals in front of their own fans as well. Hopefully they've had an amazing day out. Like we said, we hope they enjoyed it, but not too much, and that's kind of what happened. It'd be everything they almost dreamed of. They would have loved to have taken it to penalty. I think that's probably the best that they could have expected, really. I don't think they deserve to beat Town today. I think most people will be satisfied. They're never going to be satisfied going out, but they showed why they got here today. They didn't get rolled over, they didn't get spanked 5-0. They put in a real performance. They made it so difficult for Town. 2 leagues up, you know, they're going to be immensely proud of what they did, but from Town's point of view as well, I think they've done a real professional job today. You look at the goals that went in, other than the second one, the first one's just a bad bit of luck. I think if that just flies over, I think Town go on, they win 2-3-0, but then that gave them hope again. They did have a good start to the second half, but I think Town managed the game really quite well. They passed it a lot. A bit frustrating for the Town fans because it looked a bit boring, negative from the start, but you could see that it had an effect on them after 35-40 minutes. They started to tire. Town started to find some gaps, and in the end they started getting the ball in the box a bit earlier, which I was hoping they were going to do. And in the end, obviously, Vernon found his rage with a super cross, finish, wasn't it? But he crossed the 3 or 4 before that, striking the ball with his right foot and got his range. So I think the manager will probably come up and speak to you. I think it'll be full of praise for them, but also full of praise for his own lads for seeing it through and being very, very professional and organised. And new players coming in, 6 changes as well, didn't really affect the performance too much. When the changes were made, though, you could see there's an improvement, isn't there? Greedy comes on, he just gives you that little bit more, doesn't he? And Cabia, lovely little finish, is a man full of confidence again, isn't he? Just a clever little turn around the corner from Janet. Everyone kind of half gives up on it, and he just sees that little window of opportunity, that little 1 second where he just flicks it over the keeper.
And those are the kind of positions where he needs to find himself in more, doesn't he? Because he's very good in those areas, and when he gets the ball, he's he's a predator, isn't he?
Yeah, and he got
James
himself in
Cavier.
some other positions as well. He should have scored a second. The ball in at the near post. He fluffed his lines there, just didn't get the strike on the ball. He's done that a couple of times in front of goals. Just really needs to focus on getting his connection on the ball there, because it's just almost like a pass. If he watches it come across, just get a nice side foot pass on it rather than trying to finish it and strike it, missing the ball completely. But on that, you look at the possession stats, it's huge. It's 70-30 in the end. Town were dominant in that respect, not always territory wise and where the ball was on the pitch, but passing as well. We've nearly doubled and trebled the amount of passes that they put in, but it doesn't tell the full story. They were very direct and sharp and were a threat. We had to be about our business, defending, heading, challenging and everything, and they all stood up and was counted. So credit to Town turning up, playing a non-league opposition, didn't take their eye off the ball, wasn't complacent, very professional. So I think David Artell will be very pleased.
Did they surprise you tonight?
They did a bit, yeah. I mean, but you get to the third round of the FA Cup as a non-league side, in the sixth tier, and you've got to be doing quite a lot of things right, haven't you? They've only played non-league teams all the way to the stage, but anyone who gets into the preliminary stages, the late preliminary and first and second round, they're all good teams, and they're second in their own league. So they're obviously well organised, and you can see that there's some good players in there. I thought I was impressed with the centre half, the number 15, Lewis. Cummins, Britton, I thought was okay. Coulson as well down on the left. They were strong across the park. The midfield handled it really quite well, and gave us a bit of a surprise. I think when they came out the first 20 minutes, they were decent. So credit to them, But obviously, pleased we're now through to the fourth round. Got something else to look forward to.
Indeed, looking forward to the draw Monday evening, 6:35. And just a reminder, Grimsby Town will be ball number 22. Hull City and Blackburn Rovers play tomorrow here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. The Tigers, should they win through, will be ball number 23 for any Hull City fans listening to us this evening. Grimsby Town's prize money now stands at around about £250,000. £248,250 is the prize money that's been netted so far from this run in the FA Cup. They've bagged £121,500 tonight. Significant cash, isn't it, really, for a club like Grimsby?
Absolutely massive for the
and
club,
also there's the potential riches of drawing a really big club.
Well, that's it, yeah.
In the next round.
I mean, and the thing is, we've drawn big clubs and we've beaten big clubs, so it's almost like, we're not just trying to get a payday. We're hoping to progress, and go further if we can. Why not dream big? We've had these experiences, haven't we, over the last few years? Been lucky enough, and we want more of them. And it's massive for the club and brilliant for the chairman and board that we get this money in. It helps so much if we're trying to build something, and if we invest it wisely, the club will get bigger and stronger in every sense.
Any preference for the next round, Gary Croft?
Well, we've spoken about going to nice stadiums, haven't we? And having a bit of an experience like that. So I think, it would be nice. We've had some good days here. We've had, obviously, we have Southampton away, didn't we? And Brighton. It'd be nice to get one of the big six, wouldn't it? There's some fantastic stadiums, though, isn't there now? Why you go Sunderland? Broke apart. Not broke apart. The old broke apart was brilliant.
Showing your
the
age
stadium
there.
Yeah, no. That one I know what I'm on about.
I've got news for you, Gary Croft. They no longer play at the Roker Park.
Yeah, what's that? 48,000. What a day out that would be. It'd be incredible. The atmosphere at some of them clubs. It's going to be something to really look forward to if we can. But if we draw someone lower down, let's progress.
We'll do our very best to try and hear from David Artell between now and 8 o'clock. We'll be to the fans panel soon. Gary, you all right to stick around for a few more moments?
Yep.
OK. You have no choice in the matter. That was me putting you on the spot. Little unfair of me there. 4,851 have seen Grimsby Town make it through to the fourth round of the FA Cup, beating Weston Supermare by 3-2. And here's how this tea times match unfolded. In Grimsby corner, the work it short. Vernon's got it back on the right foot, goes for goal! Brilliant finish from Charles Vernon, finding the breakthrough here at Blundell Park 5 minutes before half time. A moment of magic from the Mariners winger, and Grimsby Town of League 2 lead Weston Supermare of National League South by 1-0. And Luke Coulson, with his arms by his side, breathing deeply, feet apart. There is a big line of players awaiting in front of him, but Coulson will strike it goalwards, hits the wall, and there is Smith. He's struggling, and it's gone in. Jackson Smith couldn't keep it out as he desperately dived to his left to try and claw the ball away. But it's Weston Super Mare who are back level here at Blundell Park. The side from National League South tie it up with a deflected free kick. Game on. Grimsby inside the penalty area. Cabia after the ball and flips it goalwards and scores for the Mariners to restore their lead. Jays Cabia nipping in, and from about 7 yards out, delicately places the ball away from Max Harris, the Weston Supermare goalkeeper. And 25 minutes into the second half, Grimsby Town are back in front as they chase a place in the fourth round of the Cup for only the second time in 26 years. Might that goal be enough? Grimsby Town 2, Weston Supermare 1. Michael Smith, now 37 years of age, a little bit of grey hair in there. He'll play it short to Coulson. Coulson lifts the ball into the Mariners penalty, a downward header. This is an opportunity, and it's been stared in. And Lewis Britton has equalised for a second time tonight for the National League South side. Grimsby didn't deal with the free kick routine, and it caused all sorts of chaos inside the Grimsby penalty area. The ball broke to Lewis Britton, and Weston's top scorer slotted it past Jackson Smith in the Grimsby Town goal. With 13 minutes remaining at Blundell Park, Weston Supermare have made it 2-2. Right hand side, here's a Grimsby corner, swung in with menace. There's Green! There's the header! And there is the goal! Kieran Green glancing the ball into the far side of the goal at the pontoon stand end of the ground. The Western defence buckles late in the game. The visitors, having twice come from behind to peg Town back, may well be out of it now. Kieran Green, the Mariners substitute, might well be saving Grimsby's bacon with 4 minutes left. Grimsby Town 3, Weston Supermare 2, and the Mariners now on the brink of the fourth round. Let's go to the fans panel then, and we're going to speak to Graham, who's been at Blundell Park. Graham, what's your reaction to that victory this evening?
Just thankful, really, Matt. I'm just thankful we're in the hat for the next round. I thought they were excellent opponents today. I thought they really did represent their league brilliantly today.
Very much so. Was it a tougher game than you thought it would be?
No, I was in fact expecting a really tough game today, and so it proved. I thought they played some cracking football for the level they were at, and they were perhaps more attacking than a lot of sides we've seen at Blundell Park this season.
Yes, and when they went behind in the game, we saw, didn't we, how positive they were in trying to immediately find a goal at the other end of the pitch, which I think deserves applause for making it an entertaining game today.
Yeah, I thought it was cracking, to be honest. It was really end-to-end stuff. I mean, they came to Blundell Park today to win. I mean, I know it was decided on the day, but, you know, they were certainly on the offensive and everything, and they sort of broke really well. I thought they played really well, but I thought Town did well. I thought Town did okay today. A lot of changes. I'm not too sure about some of the changes, but I certainly thought the fullbacks did well today for Town.
It needed to be a characterable performance from Town, didn't it, today? Because it would be easy in the face of that kind of opposition to buckle themselves, the Mariners. But it reminded me a bit of the Cup game against Huddersfield here. Remember here, a good while ago now under Paul Hurst, that was 3-2 to Huddersfield, wasn't it? Town just eased out of it right at the end of the game.
That was a cracking game. I remember that game well. No, I thought we played brilliantly that day as well. But no, I mean, the important thing is we're in the hat. That's the main thing. When you look at some of the big sides that have gone out as well, unfortunately for Town, I'm thinking about paydays such as Tottenham. Tottenham away.
Is that the one you want?
Nice. Yeah, that would have been the one. But I think the one I want now is perhaps Newcastle away. I think that's the one we could look forward to, or Man United if they get through.
It'd be nice to have Jim Dobbin, wouldn't it, if Town played away at Newcastle? Remember that goal that he scored up there in the early 90s?
Yeah, happy days indeed, happy days.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, what about the current situation of the team, mid-table in League Two? We were hearing from Andrew Pettit before the game. I don't know whether you heard the interview or not, but he was talking about a whole host of things. And one of the topics that I asked him about was Andy Cook. We've heard the chatter, haven't we, over the course of recent times about Town being linked with him. We asked Andrew about that. There is interest in him. He confirmed that for the very first time. Would you like to see Andy Cook come back to Grimsby?
Yeah, I'd like to see either Andy Cook or that type of player. I think he's crying out for it, really. We need somebody that can just really get hold of the ball. But if we do get a big striker, I hope it's not at the expense of Cabia-like. I think the problem is, all too often we play the same formation, regardless. We play with the two wide men, and I think I'd love to see us go with just the two up top. Maybe sacrifice one of the wide men to play two up top, because I think Cabby has been crying out for a target man alongside him all season.
Well, he's scored 2 in 2 now, hasn't he? He took his goal well tonight. What did you think?
Yeah, a real good poacher's goal. I mean, I think he's a top player. I just think he's been lacking in service and a bit of support, really, which has in no way his own fault. I think it's just a lack of service. So I think the goal at Fleetwood did him the power of good, and we've seen that tonight. Really sharp, good finish, and I think he's back in the groove. He's back in the groove. I just like us to strengthen in other areas as well, really.
Such as?
Certainly in the full-back position, although I thought Tyrrell Warren did particularly well today. I thought he had a real good game at right-back. Harvey Rogers has done well all season defensively, but I just don't think he's necessarily got that quality in the top half of the pitch, where we saw a little bit more with Tyrrell Warren today. And it might be that he's an option to play on the right.
I was chatting with David Artell about Rodgers and some of the stick he gets from some fans in the build-up to this game. You sort of touched upon what you feel might be sort of his Achilles heel, and that's maybe supporting the attack at the other end of the pitch. You think that really does hold him back?
Well, he gets up and down the pitch. There's no doubting about that. He's attacking, but it's all to do, when you get in the final third, it's all to do with the quality you can put in the box. And I think we're just slightly lacking there. That's no detriment to Harvey Rogers, who I think's done a great job. It's just a case of square pegs in round holes a lot of the time this season.
Gary Cross, listening to the conversation, what would you say as a former fullback yourself?
Well, you can see exactly what the gentleman's talking about there. You've got Harvey Rogers, he's full of willing, full of energy to fill in the role and following the instruction down to the T. He looks like one of them great pros that you can tell him what to do and he'll do it. But like you say, sometimes when you're down in that right wing position, you need to whip in the ball with some good quality. It isn't always there. And Tyrrell Warren today, I said about him today, he was about everywhere, getting about, but sometimes his qualities let him down. He has a couple that rolled under his foot and misplaced passes and stuff, but he's not shy. He gets involved in it, and he's always willing, and it's the same for Rodgers as well. He's the same, but yeah, there's an element of quality sort of when you step up to another level that they need to achieve, and I think that's just a little bit missing sometimes. But I don't want to discredit them too much, because they're both working really hard and doing the best they can. But it is them little bits that'll take you on to a higher level.
I mentioned the interview that I did with Andrew a little earlier on, Andrew Pettit. That's on BBC Sounds if you missed it earlier on, so you can find that via the Grimsby Town page. You just search Grimsby Town on BBC Sounds and it will bring up all the interviews that we post on there. And it looks like we're going to have to post an interview with David Artell on BBC Sounds a little later on, because I think we're not going to get him on air in the next couple of minutes. Just finally, how are you feeling about things in the league? Barnet next up here at home on Saturday, week today, 3 o'clock. Town owe them one, don't they, after what happened at their place?
Yeah, it's possibly our poorest performance of the season at their place. I think we deserve nothing down there. But no, I'm pretty positive, to be honest, because as we've seen with most of the leagues this season, from the Championship downwards, every league is so tight. A couple of wins and you're back in the hunt. So I certainly haven't written off the season so far. It's two more wins and we're back in the hunt, sort of thing, for the playoffs.
Graham, thanks very much for coming on. We appreciate your thoughts this evening. Grimsby Town 3-2 winners against Weston Super Mare. I can see their manager Scott Rogers doing a round of interviews. He looks a proud manager. He'll be disappointed that his team ultimately came up short this evening. Just looking at the late kickoffs elsewhere in the FA Cup, it finished Bristol City 5, Watford 1, Cambridge 2, Birmingham City 3. Cambridge with a late fight back in that game with a couple of goals from Sully Kai. Not enough, no, in the end. And Spurs have lost by 2-1 at home to Aston Villa. The late kick-off in the FA Cup is in a few moments' time. Charlton against Chelsea at the Valley. Gary Croft, thanks very much for your thoughts. We'll chat again soon. Gary and I will be back together next weekend for the Barnet game here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. But Grimsby Town through to the FA Cup 4th round draw, which is Monday evening at 6:35. More commentary tomorrow here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport as Hull City face Blackburn Rovers. That game kicks off at 2:30 and we're live from the MKM Stadium on BBC Radio Humberside and BBC Sounds from 2.
Closer to your club. BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
Jericho Keys.
And that means it's time. Your favourite new music show. Welcome. One in, all in. It's Jericho Keys with your BBC Music introducing on Radio Humberside. New tunes coming thick and fast between now and 10. Plus, we've got Arcade Blissing Session. Not bad, eh?
BBC Music introducing with Jericho Keys.
BBC Radio Humberside.
Tell you what, we've unleashed a beast.